terrestrial material. Intertwined celestials of imperial, infiltrating corporation of oppressive serials. Resilience is something like a miracle, observing kinfolk and draconian material. The more equipped for ascension, the more one seems to be treated as inferior. Dr. Umar said, the white man's heaven here, the Asian man heaven here, the Arabic man heaven here. But the black man heaven fit. The black man heaven fit, cause it lies in death. Release from the karma debt, release from all the stress, release what we don't confess. In order to live, I guess we must be bodiless. Makes me wonder, if we made out of greatness most fit for this plane, then why we the most hated? Why we the most hated? Was I in court waiting for my sentence? Listening to a witness accuse me of unfitness to remain in these cosmic dimensions? Is that why we repent and we ask for forgiveness? The hours and days, they feeling repetitious. Oppressive energy soaking up my minutes. Purple haze blowing smoke on my grimace. Another nobody traveling out of limits. Exiled from cosmos as penance. Or maybe this time it's just the intermission. Like Jesus chapters that went missing. Traveling and gaining knowledge between the dimensions. Christ consciousness bringing me ascension. Kundalini flows up now, mirror my intentions. So don't cry for me when my time is risen. Sing some praises, cause you know that I made it. And know you're all my extensions. Yes, you're all my extensions.
Hola, peace, y'all. Let me know if y'all can hear me okay. If I need to turn myself up or turn myself down or something. But welcome to the Planetary forecast. It's been a while. My bad. I've been enjoying the Libra energy. You know, I've been so tired. Have y'all been tired? See, I'm an earth energy. So like transitions, it'd be like, and I'm heavy earth. I got a lot of earth placements. Peace. How you feeling? How you healing? Yeah, see, so I've been tired and I've been allowing myself to be tired, which is like a big deal for me. So, you know, thank you. But y'all already know what we here for, the planetary forecast. The hump day reading we did last week was so good. I was able to catch you guys up on the planets. We pulled some really good cards for the different placements and things. So now we're going to talk about the planetary placements between the solar eclipse we just experienced on the 14th and the lunar eclipse we're about to experience on the 28th. So that's fun. Not tired, but exhausted. Okay, yeah, that's a better term because like I can't do anything, but I'm definitely laying down, like staring at the ceiling, like I'm not going to sleep, but I'm not trying to do anything. And definitely don't want to talk. But today felt like a good day. So I'm like, okay, let's do the planetary forecast today. So I don't think anybody in here is newbies. We all know what a natal chart is. It's the planetary placements when one is born. All living beings have electromagnetic fields, including terrors of the universe. And those electromagnetic fields have an effect on the chakra centers of oneself, which is your non-physical self. Natal planet placements are the result of how one spent their past life, what they learned, or still need to learn. These placements provide spiritual, mental, emotional, physical tools for one to navigate through this life. My thought process is your life path is the path you're going on. And if you look at all your numbers and your astrological placements, you'll see that those are tools to assist you in that life path number. And if you pay attention to like the different outcomes, whether it's numerology, astrology, or human design, or the actual science of self without the art, they're all pretty much aligned. They're all pretty much synonymous. So that's cool. And the goal is to rise above all the cosmos and gain energetic awareness through Sphere Zero, the crown chakra. And that's always fun. And you know what? I also align that with, like, you know, you say you're supposed to overcome the flesh. And when you think about the flesh, you have the DNA, mRNA, RNA codes and stuff like that. And so you can align those two. They all go together. It's a good time here. At least in my mind, they do. And when I align different like relationships and energy exchanges, I make like chemical equations in my head. Like, okay, this is here, here. Like these covalent electrons are here, here. It's energy exchange, and this is the product over here, and this does this over here. Like, I don't know. That's just how my mind works. So chakra means wheel or circle of life. It's connected to your main energy centers of your body. We align your chakras with your deities, orishas, colors, sounds, frequencies, zodiacs, animals, herbs, all living elements of this universe, the last and the next. And then the flow of energy in a chakra is actually called a Shakti, and Brahmins or supreme beings is responsible for the release and function of your Shakti. The mystic aim is to take the coiled energy at the root chakra, which we call the Kundalini, and release it onto the Brahmin's unconscious energy, sphere 10 to sphere 0 in the Neteru. Yes, aligning your energies is good. Right now, it's been like aligning my mental with my spiritual and emotional, because my mental, it still has certain thoughts, certain agreements in it that don't naturally belong to me. So it's like, but it's still like rooted in reality. You know how that goes. Anyway, this is the alignment of the planets to the Netherus to the Kabbalah tree of life and all the fun stuff. You know, if you come to me for a personal reading, I read through these thoroughly, all these wonderful slides thoroughly. And I also do astrocartography, which is a good time. This is the model we use. And I really like this model because with this one, with the sun placement, you can see where the earth is going. So, and the tropical chart, which is thoughts, the 360-degree we made up, we know that the sun is in Libra energy. So Earth is in Aries energy. And as the sun moves towards Scorpio energy, the Earth is moving more towards Taurus energy. And so that's why when the moon hits Aries, Taurus energy, it'll be in a lunar eclipse because it'll be between the Earth and the sun, which is a good time. And I like that this one has, you know, I'm about to butcher this, John, but I like that it has Ophiuchus on here, and Cephas is supposed to be on the other side. But eventually, we'll open up our minds to those. Because they cross the ecliptic now, and that's what makes a constellation or a zodiac, you know, in our wheel, is if it crosses the ecliptic, which is the pathway of the sun. What do I charge for readings? I have different tiers. It depends on what you want. I align your chart with your chakras. So these are the horoscopes, energies, zodiac energies of other cultures. So the alchemy year is the year 7, which is the year of platinum. Social and business exploration is at the top of, you know, the list of things. The distance is the West African horoscope. This is the energy of the dreamer. In this energy, one can escape dilemmas and problems, learn to deal with them rather than escape. So this is like that air Libra energy. And then the Raven and the Native American energy. This is, you know, being a peacekeeper and harmonizer, you know, the Libra, the Oba scales, and the Orishas. Be mindful of people pleasing, you know, tipping the scales too hard. And Rabbit, we're in the year of Rabbit, and this is the space of intuition, inner peace, and thinking things through. So it's a thoughtful year, y'all. Next year is going to be fun. I'm going to send you the flyer of the different tiers that I charge after I finish this. So Starting off with the root chakra on the transit chart. So you guys know I have like the planet here, and then I have the name of the Orisha here, and then this is the degree and the place, the latitude here. Pisces is the zodiac the planet is in. Then it's in the eighth house, and the eighth house is ruled by Aquarius right now, and it's in retrograde. And so that's where it was at on October 14th at midnight. And so where it's going to be at on October 28th at midnight is at 0 degrees 33 minutes in Pisces. So Saturn is still in retrograde. Saturn goes prograde November 4th. And so this inside the parentheses is the Vedic chart or the sidereal chart. So while this is the tropical, this is the zodiac, this is the sidereal, which is the constellations. And the tropical is thoughts. Constellation is what's happened, what you're attracting in your vortex. So thoughts is on the challenging on the thoughts, the subconscious thoughts. Pisces energy is associated with Mayat, which is like, the laws of Mayat, that righteous laws. And this, Saturn brings challenges that you need in your space to develop certain boundaries, to develop an order, your own internal law order, to enforce your boundaries at some point in time, because, that is the sacral chakra is a gateway to the solar plexus chakra. So, and it's also in the eighth house, which is the solar plexus chakra. That's the Scorpio energy. So it's transformations in that energy. That eighth house is being ruled by Aquarius. So Aquarius energy is like your social energy, your alignment with the collective and how you socialize, your awareness of your energy exchanges and stuff like that. And so it's transformations in that realm as well. We all know Saturn is in retrograde up until November 4th. So it's, little friction in that space and your actual like day-to-day energy exchanges, but it's helping you gain a certain level of awareness that you need and where you need boundaries and stuff like that. So like while that's on your thoughts, what's in your vortex, what you're attracting is the social circle you need for those transformations to happen, as Saturn is still in Aquarius in the eighth house ruled by Capricorn. So that's the what you're attracting. Peace. How you feeling? Welcome. So now we talk about what's on the. Can you see my mouth? Oh, okay. So now we talk about what's on the feminine side. So feminine is internal energy. It's the intangible, it's your intuition, your emotions, things unseen. And then the masculine is what's on the outside of this energy, like external self. So you have the internal self, external self. So in the internal self, this is like Aquarius energy is that social energy. It's whether it's detached or attached, your awareness of it, your energy exchanges of it, how you mentally absorb, your energy exchanges. Like, some people mentally absorb everything where everything is trauma. Everybody was mean to them, or everybody was nice to them, or everybody loves them, or, or some people don't think in generalizations at all. Some people have, can be able to compartmentalize in this area, or some people focus certain things in this area. Like, right now as a collective, we have Eros and Chariklo and Hygeia here. So it's, being in preventative measures with the Hygeia. And then with Eros and Chariklo, it's like grace and love with other people. So, you have that like social funny joke, like, oh, this is cuffing season. But also like previously during time, this is the time where people start pairing off and going in the house and, being more together inward, even past time. We just call it something different now. Anyway, so that's what's happening here with these placements here. Now, on the sidereal chart or the Vedic chart in the constellations, Eros, Chariklo, and Hygeia still are all in Capricorn energy. So what this awareness, like whatever it is that you're, however you are interpreting your energy exchanges with people, is actually forming those energy exchanges. So, be mindful of your thoughts in this area, because you are forming that in your space. And then on the external self side of things, so you have Capricorn energy here. Oh, and just to let y'all know, like Babalao and Shango, those are the Orishas that are associated with, this zodiac. Was this like Roman? Or is that Roman or Greek? Whatever. And Asar is the netters. Then you have the first sphere and the third sphere. That's the Kabbalah. The spheres in the Kabbalah also associated with the netters as well. So, and then you also have the Egyptian god names too. So I combine all that information. You have all this information up here as well, y'all. So, you have the name, and then I break down the name to give you the meaning. So root chakra is Muladhara, which means root existence. It's the earth element. It's associated with the number 4. 4-petaled lotus is located at the base of the spine. Gives off the energy of being grounded, discipline, order, and boundaries, authority, survival of self, basic resources. So, like if you have, imbalance of the root chakra, you don't have boundaries, so you attract a lot of people that take advantage of those boundaries, or also reflect not having boundaries. You lack discipline, you either attract people that's going to bring you to discipline, or the people that reflect your lack of discipline. When you don't have these things, you have a sense of distrust, uneasiness. It's kind of hard to get to the sacral chakra, which is joy and expression of joy and optimism and all those things, because you're stuck on these things. So, it's a lot of stress that comes out of here, but it's okay. Because these are the challenges that you need to create these things. So, then I have the Hakaos here, the frequencies you can listen to, the notes, or if you play instruments, the shape. So, like, say if you're doing deep breathing, what you could imagine is the red cube located at the base of your spine. And as you're breathing, you're like, like a pinwheel in the wind. You're like blowing that cube to move around. You're activating it, and it's glowing, and it's creating like a spiral around your, space in that area. And you're, breathing in and out, and it's, doing some cool things with that. And so that's what I like to do. That's what I like to visualize. And it's fun. It works. It works for me. And especially when I was breathing, to try to heal my leg and stuff, that was really fun. Not really. Okay, so fun wasn't a good word for that. It's not fun, but it was it has been a very interesting, journey, doing that. But it is something that you can do. In the science realm, they call it like the placebo effect or whatever, but it is effective. You convince people that they're healing themselves, and they'll really believe it, and it works. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Gracias. So this is what you got going on the internal self. So on the external self, the external energy of things, you have Pluto here. So Pluto is the celestial body of transformation. That's the energy that celestial body gives off. And right now it's in Capricorn. So it's in that underlying structure. It's in that power. The last time we saw it, y'all know I bring this up every episode because I just love it. But the last time Pluto was in these degrees was during the Revolutionary War. And if you keep going back 248 years, more and more and more, you'll see the rise and fall of various empires and civilizations whenever Pluto is in these degrees. And it's a great time, and we love it here. And so that's what we get to watch. And I know a lot of y'all got y'all Plutos in Scorpio, and y'all Plutos in Libra, or your Plutos in some of y'all might have y'all Plutos in Virgo. That would be like, yeah, Pluto and Virgo. And so we get to watch the show. and these are the transformations that, we bring to the table, as as these things occur, and it's a great time. So Pluto's in Capricorn, creating transformations to the underlying structures of things, the different empires that have been going on, the different, things that have been in power, providing the basic resources and, different forms of authority and all that. It's all transformations to that energy. And that's also happening in the vibration on the Vedic scale of things too, which is pretty cool. So that's where we're at with it. And then Pholus, y'all know we talked about Pholus during the Hump Day reading about Pholus being that asteroid that wherever it's around, it's like some like tragic thing about to happen or whatever. So Pholus brings on the energy. It like amplifies whatever energy is around. So having Pholus close by to Pluto amplifies Pluto's already extreme obsessive energy. Um, So you can find a lot of different, transformations happening in a big extreme way for certain spaces. So I started getting into the fact that like certain like planets and asteroids and numbers and stuff are also associated with like the numbers and gematria of like major countries and even minor countries too with the asteroids and stuff. And so like, I'm about to like go through like a little spiral on that real quick. And I'm definitely bringing that to the planetary forecast because that's fire. And I've been reading it, and some people have been even using this information, like, as they learn it and they talk about the countries, they also like apply it to like making trades. So, and it's been very effective because they can make those alignments. And I'm like, ha ha ha, excellent. So I'm about to go through this, wormhole of information. And y'all know when I learn, we learn. So I'll be back with that. Can I place a little bit? Okay, about the fortune placement. The fortune is the cross between the ecliptic and the moon path and the rising. It's like a mathematical drum. And so where that is perpendicular at is the fortune. That's like the X marks the spot. That's why it's X marks the spot, because it's the cross between the sun and moon path. So yeah, in the external spaces, extreme transformations, and you'll see that in spaces of authority. You see that now. Big transformations happening. I've heard some people talking about this might be the last election, and so things like that. I feel like people speaking things into existence, and so they're going to do things into existence. I'm not making anything apply to me until I turn off my phone and it applies to me. Outside of that, it's things on my screen, and my heart does go out to families though that are being affected by this right now. Though that's wild. I don't I don't know if there's anything I can do over here, but if there is, let me know. But those people in certain countries are definitely feeling the extremities of Pluto and Pholus. So I really want to get into like what planets rule over what spaces and stuff like that, because like that'll give like a really good like insight on how like different things are going and moving, especially if I see the pattern. Oh, that'd be so fly. Anyway, um Pholus is in the Sagittarius constellation. So um adding that extreme energy and the sacral chakra, because Sagittarius energy is the masculine energy of the sacral chakra, and it's not near any other constellations. So that's fun. I mean, it's not near any other celestial bodies. So it's adding a little bit of extreme energy to Pluto. Pluto is already extreme though, so it's already happening how it's happening. But because Pluto went in retrograde for like the last 6 months, it kind of moved even further away from Pholus, because it went back so far and went back into Capricorn. And so, you know, Pholus is in cardinal Capricorn, where Pluto is in, you know, more so mutable Capricorn, about to go back into Aquarius. Pluto will go back into Aquarius in November 2024. And that's when we have like the whole, we vote for the president. And, you know, so I find that very interesting, you know, Pluto entering Aquarius like officially and bringing transformations to like, you know, that revolutionary energy around election. I find that yeah, that's going to be real interesting. So that's what we have in the root chakra on the transit chart. Transformations to our energy exchanges, transformations to infrastructures, and a lot of it, you know, as you see Eros and Chariklo, I think that love and grace is going to be like us building communities, us coming together, you know, what you really putting out. You have to be very intentional with what it is that you want and your energy exchanges and what you want in your tribe and the people you want to be around, because at some point in time is going to be a period of time where you don't have a choice and you're really going to have to like make moves with these people. You know, the virtual thing works, but at certain periods of time you're going to have to turn your screen off and live life, and eventually you're going to start seeing like, oh, like living life by myself is getting kind of hard, like this is not the solution, and it's not. So you might as well do it now before it gets difficult to do it. And so with that being said, be your authentic self. You got to give yourself grace to be your authentic self, because I know a lot of us have been taught throughout our life certain traits about ourselves is, you know, unworthy or unlikable or undesirable. And fuck that, because there's people around you that really like what you got going on and they got it too. And maybe it's some parts of you that need to heal. So have some energy exchanges that's going to help you healing. Like healing by yourself, yeah, you could do the work by yourself, but you also need, that's why other people are around, because you need energy exchanges to show you also other places you're not paying attention to that you need healing in. So if we didn't have that, we wouldn't have the ability to have these energy exchanges, and they wouldn't be able to invoke sensories in us that give us those realizations. So, you know, that's the energy of Aquarius. That's the energy of Asar, and that first fear in the tree of life is having that level of awareness. And with Eros and Chariklo there, that is like really the ingredient. Be your authentic self. Be yourself. Give yourself grace. Love yourself. You know, flaws and all. That's how you're going to attract the authentic people. Well, hopefully most of them are authentic. Some of them got to listen to this podcast episode. Make sure you send it. And, you know, that's how you're going to attract the tribe you're supposed to attract and do the things that you're really trying to do. And that's really essentially what this root chakra energy is saying. And if you don't do it, there is energy. We know that there's energies out here, souls out here that are working and scrambling to stay in power, and they're going extreme ways to do so. You know, they're creating ailments. So if you look at Pluto on the 28th enters the sixth house. The sixth house is the energy of ailments and dis-ease. And so you have the sixth house sitting in Sagittarius. Sagittarius rule is Jupiter. Jupiter rules over the reproductive organs and the sacral chakra. It rules over that area. So y'all gotta be mindful of what it is, what's going on out there that y'all ingesting. And, you know, because who's gonna be in the sixth house. And that's I don't know what else to say about that. You know, it's gonna be, you know, it's that's what it is. All right. And pay attention to that. And remember that this is the alignment of the planets on the 28th. So this is at midnight on the 28th. So it's about 12 hours before we're at maximum you know, eclipse. However, this is the day of. So we have that energy there. And then you know, Pholus is also in the sixth house, Sagittarius as well. 6 is, like I told y'all, is the energy of ailments. It's also the energy of routine and how you organize yourself and stuff. So like expanding yourself in that realm, expanding yourself in how you take care of yourself, add some new things to your routine, add some new philosophies to your routine. Look at somebody else that might be doing something totally different than you, absorb that knowledge. You like the things that you walk into are not by accident. So be your authentic self about things that you need assistance with, all that. Yeah, Jupiter is in retrograde. And Jupiter is in like Taurus Aries energy, right? Jupiter doesn't go prograde until the solstice, until December 31st. That's when Jupiter goes prograde. Uranus is over there with Jupiter too in that Taurus Aries division, and we're gonna get into that in a moment too. But yeah, Uranus doesn't go prograde until like January 27th. But yeah, so this is what you got going on in your root chakra. And the sacral chakra is ruled by Jupiter. Speaking of Jupiter, so we have Jupiter sitting in Taurus energy. I don't know why I did that. I hate when I do that. Yeah. So Jupiter sitting in Taurus energy. It'll be close to the sun and moon eclipse. So, okay. So like during the eclipse, we had that close to Mercury. That was a whole triangle situation with Mercury, because it was, even though it was in the Libra zodiac and the tropical chart, it was still in the Virgo constellation and the Vedic sidereal chart. So that those three had like a triangle. We talked about that during the hump day reading. And so this one, since it's in Taurus, you got more of a square. You got more stability coming. So with this like square situation, you got it in like Taurus Aries energy. And that's new beginnings. And Taurus energy is materializing it, possessing it. Also, love, compassion, forgiveness, all that heart chakra stuff, good stuff. New beginnings to all those spaces for you. And also business and wealth. So, think about those things in your space too: love and wealth, love and pentacles. And that'll be close to Uranus. Progressive forces make you change new things. So like, even if you don't make like a direct path to change things, certain events might happen in your life that are going to push you to do so. So you got that going on. And then you got Jupiter. So like, if Uranus like punches you in the face, like just look at Jupiter, because Jupiter is like, optimistic part of this is like, now you know what it feels like to get punched in the face. Next time you're not scared. And now you know how to heal eyes, and you know how to heal, this kind of wound now. So somebody else get punched in the face near you, you know how to help them. And so that's where Jupiter always brings in the silver lining. That wisdom of like, it's not happening to you, it's happening for you. And this is how it's happening for you. And that's how the sages and the oracles want you to think about things. And so that's why all that energy is all wrapped up in each other. So while you have it in the Taurus space of, your heart chakra and business and wealth, you have in your vibration new beginnings to your space that are bringing you successful experiences that are in tune with where your mindset is. So again, be your authentic self is really, because if you're not, like, you're not going to attract the rooms that you're supposed to be in. You're not going to attract the things you're supposed to attract. It's going to be really hard to maintain them because you're not being your authentic self. So those moments you decide to take the mask off, everything's going to fall apart. So like, just moving your authentic self and just like, do what you're trying to do. Because that's essentially what that energy pulls out. Like, Jupiter being in Aries in the space of new beginnings, being that cardinal, movement energy in the 10th house of success, career achievements and stuff. And Pisces is a subconscious. So subconscious is your thoughts. So if you sit here and you say, okay, I want this, this, and this, and your subconscious is like, I don't really want that, or I don't deserve that, or I don't know how I'm gonna manage that, or da da da, is listening to that Pisces energy. That Pisces energy is ruling over the 10th house, your subconscious, where your mind at. That's what's ruling it. So over in Pisces energy, now we're dealing with the, sacral chakra. This is Mayat. So Mayat is on the sacral chakra because you know how, like, when we used to watch the cartoons, used to have the angel and then demon. That is Olukun and Obatala. That is the fourth and second sphere in the Kabbalah on your shoulders. That's the Pisces and Sagittarius. The feelings and emotions and intuition and angel. And Sagittarius is the fire and the impatience. And it's also knowledge, but it can also be addicting energy or obsessive, or just going off the handles. And both of them can go off the handles too. They have to balance each other out. That's the whole point. You got to balance these two energies out, because the angel can be a pushover. It could be impressionable. It could be gullible. It could also go off into the realms of not being fully present, um, feeling everybody's feelings, feeling everybody's energy, and Sagittarius energy can be, too generous, too outgoing, too out there. Boundaries is needed for this. This is why if your sacral chakra is out here going crazy and you in realms of addiction or obsession or overdoing different things, whether in your thoughts, your emotions, other people's thoughts, emotions, you got to go back down to the root chakra and reestablish your boundaries. Because if you don't put any down there, you when you come up to the sacral chakra, anybody can come in here and tell you what gives you joy and what makes you happy, and tell you what wisdom is, and whatever, and you're going to allow that. That's the impressionable energy. If you look at your human design, if you don't have any placements in Capricorn or Aquarius, you'll notice that those are open spaces down there. So people, that energy can come in and insert itself in your root chakra. Yeah, Maya never played. Yeah, when I get into past lives, I like to do the draconic and the astrocartography chart. I think that's so fire. But I really like to do the draconic chart, and the progressive on that. So on the internal, the experience on Mayat, the subconscious realm, uh, we have Neptune over here. So Neptune is in its home space in the ninth house of Pisces. The ninth house is the Sagittarius house. That's the house of your philosophies and your expanded knowledge. And a lot of that is going inward, going towards the subconscious realm, going to spiritual realms. It's right now, it's less about books and reading and going to other people and stuff, and more towards going towards self and listening to self and listening to the voices in your head. But like, yeah, they're bringing you the expansion that you need, though, and they're assisting you with your manifestation skills. And then we have Saturn here too. Saturn is in the cardinal energy of Pisces right now. Saturn just entered Pisces. So in this realm of things, we have, uh the challenges, it's challenges here too, and a lot of that. So Saturn rules over the root chakra, right? So we know that the root chakra is associated with the obtaining and maintaining the basic resources and survival of self, right? So that's why, and that's how Saturn brings challenges to Pisces, because while your spirit, and your subconscious and the voices in your head are like, I don't want to do this, or I'm not cool with this, or I am cool with this, or I'd rather do this. Saturn, how we get our basic resources and all that stuff, is in the subconscious, like, yeah, but like, see, this is still how you get this, and this is still how you get that, and this is still authority over you, and this is still, these are still the infrastructures of self. And so that's the Saturn and Pisces energy. And it's also in the Vedic chart, the sidereal chart. Saturn is in Aquarius, so that Aquarius energy is the social awareness. So it's like, oh well, when I go in the world, these things go like this, and this gotta move like that, and whatever. And so well, right now it's in the 8th house, so it's some transformations happening in this space. Y'all already know the Scorpio Pluto house, 8th house, be extreme as shit. So sometimes we be thinking we know what's going to happen, and we don't be having no idea. Like, we be in head left. So but Pluto do be coming, and Pluto do create the transformations, and we don't always see it in the little picture, but in hindsight we always realize, like, oh, okay, I see why the 8th house did that. That was crazy though, but like it had to happen. So the challenges and authority and stuff is having that realm of transformations in our social interactions. And karma is here too. Now, karma is an asteroid. Karma is also in the cardinal energy of Pisces. So they're both in I'm sorry, Saturn didn't just enter Pisces, but Saturn is in retrograde, so it's going back through like the cardinal energies of Pisces. But karma is pretty much in conjunction with Saturn right now. So a lot of the challenges are coming in karmic bonds and karmic energy coming back to people, and so whatever you've been sowing, you fitting to reap. Like, good or bad, because karma is not all gloom and doom. Karma could be a good return and stuff like that. So it's whatever you've been planting through your subconscious. Like, it's your subconscious that really matters right now. So it don't matter what motions you going through. If that deep down thought in your mind, in the pit of your thoughts and souls, is telling you like this ain't right, or this is right, or I rather, that's where you're going. Whether you feel on time level you ready or not. You know what I'm saying? So you're getting that return, and that's what these celestial bodies and Neptune bring. Is what's going on in that subconscious of yours. It's not what you're doing Monday through Friday or Saturday and Sunday. It's not what you and emotions are doing. It's not what you got yourself autopiloted on. Is them deep dark thoughts, and the deep thoughts, and y'all know what I'm talking about. And you think those out, because the universe wants to, you control the universe. You got to ask yourself why. We the stars that align to create the electromagnetic energies, and we in control. We do the abracadabras and stuff like that. So we gotta ask ourselves, why, what's going on? Yeah, I've been trying to sew as good as possible. I've been, what's my issue? So I got a lot of Virgo placements, and so I deal with a lot of intrusive thoughts. And so, like, when I'm thinking about something that I want, something I'm trying to manifest or bring to me, it's always some like crazy, extreme ass intrusive thought that comes like immediately after that. And it's like, bro, why my thought go that way? Like, why we just do that? That's so like, why are you like this? We get so dark. um for real. So I don't know what that's about. That's where my mind goes. Anyway, so peace. So the sacral chakra, that's what we have on the experience of things. So like on the external self, the experience of things, we have Sagittarius energy here. This is the power of knowing and manifesting. So you got that Pisces subconscious deep down, giving you the blueprint of how things are going, and then you got the okay, I got it, I had the download. So sometimes we be thinking we be downloading from like things outside of us, but we really be downloading from our own self. You be downloading from your own, pineal gland, your own akashic records and stuff like that. You just be invoking yourself, and that's why I also like that I put like the orishas here and the deities here, because I'm showing you that these deities, these names, like I told y'all in the beginning, they're just personifications of your energy, of what you're capable of doing, of how your energies and have interacted with each other, and how they can interact with each other, how they will interact with each other. That's the different stories that you hear about, and that's why some of the stories be sound crazy, but like it's just personification of these energies and self, and how these energies can be exchanged within self and amongst others, if you listen to it that way. But you know what I like about literature? I love the fact that you can look at words, and literature is so artsy that it could be like a bunch of different interpretations, and they could all be righteous in their own way. And that's how literature is. But that's also how dangerous literature is too. Because people can look at a piece of paper, read something, and people come up with their own conclusions, and there's a possibility they could all be true. You know what I mean? So it's kind of crazy, but yeah, that's what it is. How did the I was tired. I was sleepy, but I had a really good time. So y'all know I have been advertising this Eclipse event that I was trying to do, and it was in Telegram, and shouts to Timmy, and I don't know if Greg is in here, but we had a few people come out, and it was so awesome, and I really enjoyed that experience. Everything flowed well, but not but and just the days flowing into, and the days flowing out of, I've just been very, very tired, like just sluggish. I don't want to really do anything. I'm chilling, and I'm okay with that. It wasn't bad. That's not a complaint at all. I was just tired. How was y'all? How was it for you guys? How y'all enjoy it? Right. What's wrong with me? Yes, I'm glad we aligned here again as well. So while that's going on in the experience of things, your external self, we can have the vertex. So it's like your actual like vibration is attracting your subconscious here. So again, be careful with those deep dark thoughts. A lot of things, I don't know if it's been happening real fast for y'all, but it's definitely been happening really fast for me. And I feel like soon as Saturn go prograde on the 4th, it's gonna get real. Because I don't know if y'all felt that shift when Pluto went prograde last week on like the 11th, but that joint felt crazy. Like it was like big ass transformations just started happening, like boom, 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 boom. Like, okay, cool. Can you chill just a little bit? Like but it was just like all that stuff we've been putting into like the vertex of Pluto. Like I need transformations in this part of my life. I need transformation because a lot of us have been focused on our root chakras, trying to get like our basic needs and survival self together, learning boundaries and getting new disciplines and routines and orders. A lot of us have been in this space, and a lot of us are being affected by the powers to be in one way or another. A lot of us are in these different spaces and phases of our life. So, naturally, we ask, transformations in space. I want something different, And so now with Pluto going prograde, it's just like, it's just happening like y'all want transformations? Like it just couldn't wait, it was like it just like dumped on me. And I felt like it dumped on a lot of people, but it was like, this is what you asked for, like this is the dump. So cool to that, but whew, um and so I just feel like Saturn is going to do the same thing, because Pluto is in Capricorn, so it is creating those transformations. So Saturn kind of like tests it out, like, okay, there's the transformations. Okay, now we have to give you the experiences so that you can reprogram, kind of like Pluto is erasing the boundary that you had that didn't serve you, or the open space that didn't serve you, and Saturn is coming in and giving you like the experience to like create that. And so like a lot of these things you're attracting in your vertex and your experiences and your energy exchanges to do that. So like I said, you gotta be in your authentic stuff. You have to be, because if you're not, like, you're really blocking yourself from, unless you do bullshit. Unless you do bullshit, then, you know, I guess, put on the nose and mustache glasses, whatever, do your thing. But like, if you know what you really really want, like, be your authentic self. Don't play with the jokes, or the like, especially like when you're sad and you feel that overwhelming energy, and you allow that, the thoughts and that subconscious level, because energy is energy. So like, if I'm feeling like really sad or really angry, I'm still pulling on the same amount of energy, and sometimes more. Sometimes we pull on way more energy when we're angry or when we're sad than when we're happy or elated or excited or trying to manifest something. We'd be cool as shit, like, oh, I'm so happy. But then when we get angry, it's like, what the fuck? And we have to understand that it's not about the fact that you're saying happy versus what the fuck. It's that energy behind it. And that energy, that's what's getting this shit popping. So you have to be like very careful with that. Like, if you're in that, like, you're about to be angry, instead of, screaming out things that you don't really want to happen, but like, you're mad, just say nice things, like, oh, I really need some money, like, money's coming to me, like, oh, or like, life is happy, I love it here, like, something different. Be mindful of that energy that's coming behind it, because it's just gonna be like, oh, that's what you want, abracadabra. Like, it's not gonna be like, oh, I realize that you just said that because you're mad. Like, that's not how it works. So like, be mindful of that. And that's like this combination between Pisces, the Sagittarius energy. And you're going to attract a lot of, experiences in your vertex that's going to help you exercise that. And it's going to go towards, you have Scorpio energy in the Vedic or the sidereal. So you have transformations. We're talking about the solar plexus chakra here. We're talking about some of these experiences may be extreme, experiences bringing us into realms of occultism. Whenever I see this, I think of us going back into village space and studying like the village space, like when we were tribal, because Scorpio is like occultism. So it's creating a cult, creating a culture or whatever, and just having like those different kind of tribes together and transformations in space. And then like fifth house energy. Okay, so let's talk about it. Have you guys ever had dreams when you were a kid where you just like wanted everybody to either live in the same house or everybody live next door to each other? And I feel like, I don't know if that's a dream that everybody has, because I remember when I was a kid, I used to have dreams like that, and I would tell other people, and some people would just look at me like, well, that doesn't make sense. Everybody could never live in the same house, or everybody could never live in the same neighborhood. But like, I used to have dreams like that all the time. And so like, now in the space and time as an adult, it's kind of like my inner child like leading the way and like creating that space, like, oh, I want to like live with my friends on some land. But it still, it feels like that's inner child shit. But about tornadoes, lots of transformations in your space. Used to dream that we used to stay on an island. Yeah, I had everything you needed on an island. Yeah, I used to. For me, it was like, it was either like a big, like, it wasn't like a big fancy mansion, but it was a big ass house. experience. Every door I opened into somebody else's room or another living room or something like that. But in my mind, in my dream, I knew this was a big house and we all just lived. And then one time it was we all lived in the same projects. We all lived in the same apartment building, and the apartments all had a door into each other. And then it's been a few times where it was like old village kind of vibe, like outside just dirt and shit, and that was fun too. But now as an adult, I've had like different dreams coming back to that too. Like especially when I got land in Arizona, I started having like the like outside barefoot in the dirt in the garden type dreams again. It wasn't like the house we all inside a house. But yeah, I've been had yeah. So like it just feel like inner child stuff. And all that to say, that's like the fifth house. So you know, a lot of you guys are doing shadow work that's going to bring you back to your inner children and their mindset and their thoughts and things, because you're going to realize that a lot of the things that you want is in an alignment with what that child wanted when they first got here. But different things happen. We be taught like saw certain jobs and a way to go, certain lifestyles, the way to have instead. But we always had that thing. And then people also teach you that what you want is childish, or imagination play. It's not real. You're never gonna really have that stuff like that. So you think about that too. So that reminds me of the book, The Four Agreements. Like these are different agreements that you didn't come in the world with. So we're learning how to undo those different agreements that was given to us. You know what I mean? Um, but yeah, so this is like really like empowering that inner child, that inner creative self. That's what fifth house is. Fifth house is that inner child, whether it's inner child in you, children around you, or the inner child in other people around you. But it's a lot of empowering and transformations going in that realm of things. Um, yeah, respect. I feel that too. I feel like my inner child was like mad for a long time, but we cool now. She still have her moments, but we're cool for the most part. But it's a lot more thoughts going towards that, a lot more connections going towards that, and it's an empowering feeling to see that alignment of your adult self with your inner child, because you got to understand you're the adult that your inner child manifested. Like, I want to be like this, I want to do this, da, 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 da. And so you had to go through different experiences to be that child manifested or wanted in their space. So now you're that adult, so now you have to connect with that inner child, and be that adult that inner child needs, empower that inner child, because you're that adult so that inner child's dreams can happen. You know what I mean? You're the outside space. And depending on what age group you're in, we did that before. Root chakra is 1 to 7, sacral is 7 to 14, solar plexus is 14 to 21. Uh, it's G, right? The heart chakra is 21 to 28. In the 50s, they was on that heavy. Like everybody was getting married around that time, right? That's when you're supposed to have you have supposed to have your family established and your career established, like 21 to 28, right? College and all that fun stuff. And then you have your throat chakra, which is 28 to 35. That's when you start, speaking things into existence, the power of your manifestation. You get more responsible, moral code starts, you know. Also a good time to manage your health, at that time, right? 28 to 35. Uh, then you have, 35 to 42, which is your third eye. That's when you start getting wise, start chilling a little bit. You have your 42 to 49. And that's when you're in your connection with the universe, people start paying attention to their spiritual self and stuff like that. Um, start, reaping, the benefits of their spiritual health. Right now we be reaping the benefits of our emotional and psychological and stuff like that. We It's good to have spiritual fitness. The spiritual health really benefits you later on in life, right? Especially if you on the realms of ascension, you make it to the space of ascension. Um, your spiritual fitness throughout your life definitely benefits you more at that time. And that's why they say, like, you have your Saturn return twice and all that, because you go back through these phases again, because 49 is not old. 49 is midlife. So now that you've made it, your connection to the universe and stuff like that, you go back through Saturn again. You have another Saturn return. you know it happens every 30 years. So now you're like, pushing 60, about to enter your Saturn return, right? So that's how it goes. That's how the cycle is. The life cycles through the chakras and the focus overall thing. And that was a little side story. How did we get there? I don't know. Oh, talking about the fifth house. We started getting into lifespan development. um, what do we say? Yeah, maybe you were like a tornado catcher or something. Or maybe that was something you had to look out for regularly in a past life. That'd be interesting. No respect. Oh yeah, I be having dreams like that, like cuz I don't really remember my dreams often, but when I do, and it's, involving someone, like I always check, and it'd be real. Stuck here to your 92? Yeah, most of the women in my life live till they're 99. So I got two more Saturn returns to go. This one I actually thoroughly enjoyed this one. I mean, it a couple of things, it was like, I felt like that was extreme. We didn't have to go that route. But on the astrocartography chart, I'm in my Pluto placement. So the fact that Pluto's in Capricorn right now and I'm having my Saturn turn, you know how that goes. So it had to be extreme things to happen for me to create new boundaries and survival of self and all that fun stuff. So cool, whatever. But it was just like, I don't feel like we had to do all that. But like, it is what it is. Um Everything is about the unification of mind, body. Yep, exactly, exactly. And to expound on you with this, and that's the name of the game here. So even when you get into like the tropical and the Vedic chart, it's like the Ayana Masa is 23 degrees. So like in that space, even the thought process is separate from the actual vibration of what's going on. So we see that in how we are being, educated, since childhood, and now even younger, like in infantry, because soon as our moms have us, they have to go right to work. And so we are already in the daycare where we're being taught, how we're supposed to fend for ourselves and how we're supposed to view the world and stuff like that, because some kids be in a fucking crib for hours at a time, in a pissy diaper, shitty diaper or whatever, just chilling, like watching TV with a bottle, being fed ideas of how things are supposed to go. And so it's like, oh, well, I'm just supposed to sit here and be quiet. I'm not supposed to tell people when I need things or when I, want things or whatever. So like but like emotionally speaking, like, seeing the comment above, like, I just want to be loved. Like, yeah, you are love. So you love, and you being love, of course you want to attract love, because that's what we want. We want abundance, and we are abundance. We are infinite, and that infinite energy comes from the interconnections and the bonds, you know because we are infinite. So to add infinity to infinity is like, ooh, like, yeah, give me that. So, yeah, of course. So while our minds are being programmed to like, oh, well, I can have love when I have a house and a car, and I can have love when I dress better, and I can have love if I lose weight, or I deserve love if I have all these things. And your emotions is like, oh my God, I just want to be loved. Like it's this degree, it's this 23-degree Ayanamasa of how we think things are supposed to be versus how our soul, how our spirit, how our emotional stuff is saying, like, bro, I'm really trying to manifest this thing, and your mind is really in the fucking way. You know what I mean? So, you want to have that alignment there. Yeah. So many people let their minds control them, and they don't even realize that their mind is easily controlled. Like, people go to school to learn how to control minds. But your feelings, your emotions, that's a sensory. That's a sense. So there's like, so yeah, it's a sense. You feel it. You feel it. Like, I feel this energy exchange happening. Your feeling is, that's the one sense that something doesn't have to be like, well, it is still physically touching you. You just don't see it. You just don't see it. Whereas, like, you can see light in your eyes, or you can feel the touch of, music in your ear hairs, and you can feel the touch of food on your taste buds, and you can feel the sense of smell going through your nose. So, and you can feel touch. So, like, you can feel those things, but like when someone touches that sensory of emotion, you can't really. And so we haven't been taught how to honor that because of that, because it's that kind of sensory. However, like, that sensory matters. You know what I mean? And all that to say, that one can't be controlled, because you can tell your mind whatever. But if your emotions, shit, I don't know about y'all. I like projects, Timmy. That's my addiction. I like projects. I look at them and I be like, oh, little baby, can I bring it home? I want to feed it and nurse it and make it better. And then, and then, and then that's it. That's like, eventually I get frustrated, um, because I forget it's a project and not actual equal energy exchange. Something's wrong with me. But transformations to that space, because Pluto's about to go on back in Aquarius, and when it does, that's my cue. I'm just going transformation to that all, sage it all. Because Aquarius is air, so we gonna sage it all. All right. Um, we control the mind with senses, reprogramming the system and so on. Yeah. It takes 21 days to reprogram your mind. Even if, and this is how you know you can control the mind, but you can't control the emotions. So for 21 days, I can get my mind mentally stuck on a routine. However, even if my mind is stuck on a routine, my body will still go through the emotions of not feeling like it. But my mind will be like, do it, do it, do it. We gotta get done. And that's what the real training is. It's so that it's in your mind on cue. But you won't have that emotional. You'll be like, oh, I'm so tired today. You'll still feel tired today. You'll still feel a depletion of energy. Your sensory will be like, hey, it's some energy over here that's lacking. It's slacking. We're not doing that today. But your mind will be like, nah, because I got to do this, because da 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 da, and this, and this. So, yeah. I need reset process. Yes, I do. But see, what had happened was I like projects. I'm trying to do the impossible over here. You know what I'm saying? It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me. I'll start small. Yeah, start small. Oh, Virgo gang. I'm a Virgo Sunday mood. So that's the sacral chakra for y'all. New beginnings to your self esteem, your awareness, your compassion self. Business is moving different, wealth and pentacles is moving different, and we see that, right? Lots of expansion happening to the pentacle realm, especially with bricks. We've seen the expansion happen with when Jupiter first entered Taurus energy with all the cryptocurrencies and all the stories happening with cryptocurrency, and then the whole tale of the Federal Reserve coming out, and then with the Titanic and shit, and then people, learning about the Continental finally. I can't believe you guys didn't know about the Continental. That was like the first time this shit fell apart. And honestly, there's a lot of celestial alignments with that too, the continental falling apart. And I hope this Federal Reserve won't fall apart because this shit is stupid. It's literally just like, I owe you notes. Like, I'm going to pay you one day, someday, but I'm going to give you these instead. I mean, if it really was a representation of my energy, I fuck with it. But it's not, because it's not putting enough of my energy into consideration for it to feel like a pure representation of my energy. You know what I'm saying? Because I need like 80,000 of them just to roll out of bed, put some clothes on. That's okay. So now we're in the solar plexus chakra. Mars just entered Scorpio. So transformations to everybody's solar plexus chakra. So let me tell you. So my natal solar plexus chakra, my Mars is in Gemini, right? How my phone gonna make a motherfucking jump for it? And so now I got this big ass hole in the corner of my phone. And then my other phone, the screen went black. Just like completely black. Like when I tell you that Scorpio Pluto energy don't give a fuck about your feelings, it doesn't. And I don't appreciate it. Oh yeah, the pattern app. Yeah, get that joint. I like the pattern app. It's a great time. I'm on there. I don't remember what my name is up there, but like if you're in my Instagram channel, once I find out, I'm definitely going to share my pattern app thing in Instagram so y'all can add me. I'll be up there. And I think it's really cool they have a dating space now. So you can see like I think that is so fire. I'll be up there. Anyway, so Mars will lower the solar plexus chakra is bringing transformations. For my ladies out there, I don't know if you guys ever paid attention, but this is the season around this time of year is where our cycle starts to make a transformation in its pattern or whatever. So usually around this time, we might get our cycle like twice a month, either this month or next month, and then it kind of like recalibrates. That's all Scorpio energy, and Mars rules blood flow, so it's a good time here. Also, can be a very violent time here with Mars being in Scorpio as well. Fourth house energy is home and family, nurturing spaces going inward. So a lot of transformations happening in that realm. I don't know about y'all, but usually during this time of year, somebody in my family or a friend circle usually pass away this time of year with, this kind of like portal space open. But the transformations that's happening in this area is so we just had the Libra eclipse or whatever, right? And that was in, so now we have this realm where we have this balance and harmony energy over our nurturing spaces and safe spaces, while we have this fire energy over the transformation space. And remember, Pluto's in Capricorn, so coming into a space of creating that. Now Mars is still in Libra in the Vedic, so in the vibration of things, we're still in a space of creating harmony, balance, justice. It could be a little bit of a wet blanket energy here. So while you have some people that are really talking about being down for the cause, they might not really be energetically putting that energy towards it. It might be like, oh, not really though. But it's okay. But this is the power level of things. A lot of secrets coming out too, y'all. So Scorpio deal with secrets. Scorpio be spilling the motherfucking tea. So you so a lot of people gonna be coming out here telling people business. That's happening here, because Mars deals with circulation, expression, and Scorpio deal with gossip and secrets coming out. Extreme energy happening here from the solar plexus, the actual like sun energy, and also transformations to your gut. Change y'all diet. It is not the summertime no more. You shouldn't be out here eating summertime fruits and vegetables. Transformations is supposed to be happening here. The gut controls the mind, so having Mars in the fourth house, that's the alignment of the gut and the mind. Finding a harmony in between the two. If you are not providing transformation to your diet and you just walking around here eating like it's whatever, you will be experiencing certain levels of brain fog and lack of concentration. The tiredness is like a mental tiredness, all that fun stuff. That's a connection between the two there. Not saying that you won't experience that anyway, because we just experienced the eclipse near this it was near Mercury, which is our throat chakra area. But you got what I'm saying. Mercury's here a little long, Mars here a little longer. So so on the feminine side, the experience of things, we got Aries here. This is the enforcement of law. And the inside of things, you got that fire in your gut that's like, ooh, 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 at. That's what my gut does. It goes at. So that energy, we have Chiron there, which is how we transmute our wounds into a strength. We have Aries here, which is the divine primordial feminine energy. She out here beating ass. We have the direction, our pathway as a collective, and Aries energy, and the midheaven is here as well. So this is a space of achievements and all that fun stuff. So Pluto is kind of like square this energy here too. So transformations is happening. The transformations that we're experiencing is creating some kind of static in the realms of the direction we're supposed to be going in. So all that to say, like, this route is not supposed to be easy. It's not going to be easy. A lot of shadow work in this round. Peace, welcome. But it's moving towards transmuting the wounds. Chiron, Aries, well, all of these placements are in oh no, I lied. Chiron is the only one that's still in Pisces on the Vedic chart. So while Chiron's the experience thoughts are in and new beginnings and stuff with transmuting the wounds. Shadow work is to be done here because Chiron is still in Pisces. That's the deep subconscious energy, the hidden things, the Akashic records. So there's some wounds. So while you're dealing with the wounds of this life, at some point in time, you're gonna have to start dealing with the wounds of past lives and all that stuff like that. So yeah, have fun with that. So Aries is in Aries, the new beginnings energy on the Vedic scale too. So definitely new beginnings to that. Peace, welcome. Yeah, new beginnings, cardinal energy, direction we're moving forward into. It's always a great time. We love it here. Now on the external self of the solar plexus. Now this is where, in our external energy exchanges, we're having the actual transformations, right? So say Aries, that fire in your gut is like, don't go there, don't do that. So what your actual energy exchanges, because we are water, right? So our actual energy exchange creates a certain level of transformation. It'll eradicate certain things and create something else. It's always constant transformation happening, constant manipulation happening in between the waters, in between the energy exchange we create, and a lot of them come from the gut because we know the gut controls the mind, right? And that's why when you control the food, you control the mind when you put stuff in food and all that fun stuff. So what's happening in the Scorpio energy, the energy exchanges and stuff like that, we have all Maya, which is, nurturing spaces, our feminine energy. Which is in the fourth house of Libra, finding, harmony in our nurturing spaces, our safe spaces, or whatever. And we're doing that by experiencing transformations there. And then, so you might not, fully understand why certain transformations are happening in your space, why different extreme energy exchanges are happening and stuff like that. And it's for your own good. It's to create a better nurturing spaces. You said you wanted to love yourself a certain way. You said you wanted to be loved a certain way. You wanted certain things a certain way. So now different things are happening for you to have that. Peace, peace. Ceres is also here, further elaborating on that nurturing energy. Ceres is the asteroid that associates with nurturing energy, agriculture. Mars is also here, bringing on that energy of transformation, not transformation, circulation. Mars is in Scorpio, so you have the experience energy, being transmuted in the transformation energy. So it's like the things that you said that you wanted, they're coming into fruition. We put those seeds up in the womb, in the darkness or whatever, and so now they're sprouting. We got to trust that they're sprouting in the soil. We can't see it. It's still in the darkness. We're going to go through the darkness. We're on our way to the solstice or whatever. And then we come out into the light, and then we're going to start seeing it start breaking through the soil. We have that worm moon. Plants start breaking through the soil or whatever. So that's what's happening in the solar plexus. Then we have the heart chakra. This is where you get wisdom and compassion, empathy and forgiveness. Venus rules over the heart chakra. Venus is, that rules over like your self-esteem, your emotions, how you feel about things. Your heart chakra is the middle chakra, and between your lower three and your upper three, all seven, well, all six chakras are associated with your physical body, but this is more so, on a smaller scale. This is the lower self and the higher self, in between the balance beam, if you will. And that's why this also is associated with your vertex in the middle ground, because it's kind of like so you have that connection through your crown chakra, right? Like say you get a download or whatever through your crown chakra, and you it comes to your mind, your third eye, and you're interpreting it, and then you speak about it, right? The abracadabra. And so as you do that, that energy is coming down and you're actually attracting it here. And then also say you have energy coming through your root chakra, that infrastructure energy, and then it comes up and brings you joy, and then you feel empowered, and then that also comes out your heart in the realms of attraction. People can feel that in your force field, like, oh, this person feels like they're in control, or this person feels like they're in charge, this person feels like, and you find yourself going attracted to their energy. Or if you find yourself least or more attracted to other people. Some people like to, be attracted to people who don't seem to have a mind of their own or things like that, because it opens up the door for them to be able to provide their mind. Like, oh, you don't want to have a mind of your own? Bet I'll think for you. Like, I'll control the situation. Like, different things like that. So you have that too away, and that's how I think about it. So that's Venus. Venus is that middle piece in between, the higher and lower coming together and really attracting what you want in your space and stuff like that. So right now Venus is in Virgo, so it's in that realm of servitude, and you see a lot of that coming out with the different donations, and we have the different organizations and stuff that raise money and stuff around this time of year. And tis the season, we're handing out candy, we're having dinners together, we're having coat drives, we're handing out gifts. Like, it's just like the tis is the season, you know what I mean? So Venus is in Virgo, getting us together for that, also bringing us to a realm of hermit mode. A lot of us have been feeling like going inward, and I just don't feel like it. I'm just, it's It's not what's happening. And it's in the second house. So Taurus house is the second house. So that's also dealing with, your emotions, how you feel, what's going on in the inside of things and stuff like that. So the second house is ruled by Leo energy. So this is your experiences here. This is, how you how you project your reality, right? That energy is rolling over it. So how you feel right now is projecting your reality. This is also why I say just be your authentic self. Just let your subconscious, your mind, and your body all align. Like it's that's like the best way to attract what you want right now, because it is really going to give you what you want. But you have to be ready to attract it. If you're not ready to attract it, it's not going to be a good time. On the feminine side of things, the inexperience, we have Uranus and Jupiter over here. So Uranus is that progressive energy that pushes you, and that started going in retrograde August 29th. Uranus is going to stay in retrograde until January 27th. So we have both these energies teetering, and remind you this this is going to be creating a square. Well, not a square, more so like a triangle. It'll be a square at first, and then it'll come into a triangle as the eclipse, approaches. But between the eclipse and Uranus and Jupiter, because they'll all be between the Taurus zodiac and the Aries constellation. So that's pretty fun. And so, yeah, you have both of these placements that are pretty close. They're like within like 7 or 8 degrees from each other. Well, at least on the Vedic scale. On the tropical, they're like 9. So you have the progressive force and the optimism. They're not too far off from each other. Having the optimism first and then the progressive force after is very interesting. But it's like seeing the silver cloud, like in different things. Like you have to have a certain level of awareness. Your emotions is definitely like lighting the way here to let you know that, though. Like I know there's a lot of little things that's happening. Like you manifested something and then something crazy happened, and you're not even paying attention to the fact that needed to happen because you said you wanted this, and you might have thought that person or that experience was going to give you what you were asking for. So while you were asking for it, you had a picture in your mind that it was going to be with that person or this group of people or in this town or at that company or whatever. And then you realize that no, I actually had to remove those things from your life so you could have what it is that you asked for. Those things, those different spaces you were in, they weren't going to give you that. You know what I mean? So it's just like, that's Uranus and Jupiter and Taurus. In a nutshell, that's what it is. Scorpio energy is so weird to me. Scorpio energy is interesting. It is very weird. It is, and that's the whole point of it. They actually like to be, that energy likes to be that level of mysterious. That is, what the fuck? That's the defense, that's how it knows it's efficient. So while all that's going on inside the heart, that Taurus heart energy was happening in the air, experience, the external self is that air exchange, the Libra scales was happening in the action of things. The sun and moon, we started off on the 14th with both of them being in Libra. All these energies are between Libra and Virgo. So all these energies were in alignment during the eclipse. So you had the sun and moon, which is your left and right third, and in the third eye, you got Maki, which is also like another it's an asteroid that kind of expounds on the sun. So it's your experiences, your external self, your ego, who you are, who you think you're supposed to be. Then you have the South Node, which is the energy that we're coming from. We're moving away from this energy, so so it's not just moving away, but also like what you've overcome, what we've learned. We're learning about learn about harmony and justice and love. And this is also in alignment with the fact that Setna is just entered Gemini, maybe, or either I think it's Gemini. Yeah, Gemini, because it was in Taurus. So Setna is the asteroid of the overall spiritual awareness of the collective. Because we're talking about the transit, we're not talking about yeah. So, but that's what it is. So, Sedna was in Taurus since like 1920 something. So when you think about the 1920s, like it's like 1926 maybe or something like that. But like 1920s up until like most present, it's been a big focus on love and business and materialism, right? You know, what kind of degrees do you have? What kind of house do you have? What size is it? You know, we used to play MASH, and MASH was everything outside of stuff. You know, your value was set up about what you had. It wasn't really about, well, it was also about characters, about love too, but that's also associated with Taurus. Then you had the 60s, the love and the hippies movement. Everybody's loving each other. It's all just love and possessions and business and pinnacles and compassion and, you know, art and beauty, right? Fashion and business. That's all Taurus energy, right? So now Saturn is moving into Gemini, which is, you know, community and communication and, you know, lineage, you know, intellect, you know, being a jack of all trades, but you know, you got to learn focus there because you should be a master of something and dabble in other things. But you know, that's neither here nor there. Um, so we have, you know, our south node is, you know, all about balance in this space, while our north node goes toward, oh, well, actually, yeah, new beginnings. Okay, so yeah, Mercury is here too. So Mercury rules over like that routine energy, your moral and integral code. Mercury also rules over the throat chakra. So this is all happening in your energy exchanges. All is a Libra, balance and justice and fairness, all that fun stuff. Harmony here in this space. So I like that is between Libra and Virgo, and I said because you know, Virgo is materialization and agriculture. So, you know, it being in the Vedic scales, like that's what we're attracting in our vortex is that it's the agriculture, the seeds, you know, the harvest. Virgo has a lot of harvest stars. Virgo also has stars of prophecy. So it's, you know, we're actually manifesting. And this is what we focused on in the Telegram group. So you have like the seeds, and then like Libra air is like blowing the seeds and finding harmony amongst the physical and non-physical in the space. That's like the Holy Trinity, right? The man and woman's ability to come together in the physical and take something that's in a non-physical, which is a spirit, a soul, you know, conscious, whatever, and implant it in a baby in a womb through the physical, and then bring out a physical being. Like that's wild. Like that's a divine connection and creation between the physical and non-physical. And so um that's all I see with the Libra, Air, and Virgo is like bringing that non-physical into the physical. Really being mindful of, you know, your what you're attracting in your vortex, what you're harvesting. This is the space of harvest. This is when we're bringing things into fruition, and a lot of it to do with fourth house energy, which is the moon. Fourth house is the Cancer energy. That's associated with your nurturing space, feminine space, intuition, you know, your connection with feminine energy, maternal energy, all that fun stuff. That's all fourth house energy. And we're in a space where we're organizing it, we're paying attention to it, we're trying to manage it, we're applying it in our routine. You know, we're being true to this energy in our energy exchanges and the kind of energy exchanges we want to manifest. What, you know, a lot of us are moving into a space where it's like, yeah, I do want reciprocation in my relationships. And I am paying attention to the relationships that don't have it, and I'm paying attention to the relationships that don't, you know, align in my moral and ethical code, or you know, different things like that, my routines, and you know, how I wish to communicate and speak and learn, like, you know, all that stuff is, you know, you're paying attention to it in your energy exchanges. And so that's an alignment here, you know, and that's a lot. And that brings you back to the fact that, you know, you said you wanted something, you know, you manifested it all up in that sacral chakra with, you know, Pisces and Sagittarius. And then like I'm trying to give it to you in the Taurus energy or whatever. I'm trying to push the progressive forces in that Taurus energy. and it's coming through to you in these energy exchanges in that Libra space. And so, you got to understand, like, these are the seeds that you planted and they're being blown your way because, this is what you said you wanted. And so, that's why a lot of the things that you're trying to manifest in a lot of your downloads, they're not just for you. So it's like when you keep them to yourself, it's like really selfish, because it's like a lot of people are waiting for your frequency to be put into the cosmos. That's why, like, things come to you. Things come to you so you can flow, not so you can hold it. That's not just about money. That's also about talent, energy, intellect. That it's supposed to be a flow of something. Everything moves in cycle, even trash. Like, you're not supposed to just keep all the trash in your house. That's nasty. Then people, now you're on hoarders, and now they're showing you how to remove all this junk from your vortex to make space for more junk. Like, you're not supposed to hold things. You're supposed to let it flow. So, in this space and time, like, you're learning how to let go so new things can come into your space. That's what Uranus and Jupiter, alignment wants you to see too. And, this all energy is Venusian. So it's all beauty, like seeing the beauty in this, the connection of this, Venus is in Virgo. That's harvest. That's manifesting. That's materializing. And then it's in the Vedic Leo energy. Leo energy is the third eye, how you're experiencing things. Leo is associated with sun. What the sun touches, what it reflects off of, that's how you experience it, right? This is the ego, the mask of things. So, a lot of that is coming out of, Virgo into your heart. Anyway, so throat chakra. So Mercury rules the throat chakra. Mercury just entered Scorpio not too long ago. Yay. And Mercury deals with how you teach, how you learn, how you speak, how you listen, your moral integral code, your wellness, your organization skills, your intellect, how you invoke things, ear, nose, and throat situation. Like when you don't speak up, you might, get a sore throat, get a little, swollen glands or whatever. Or you might choke on something when you about to say some bullshit. That's all throat chakra stuff. It's a good time here. So, Mercury, we have one more retrograde of Mercury, and that's going to happen December 13th to January 1st. So prepare yourself for that retrograde, because I believe the way things are be going, that retrograde will probably be in Capricorn Sagittarius energy, which is interesting because that's like, transformations to your daily routine, the infrastructure of it, the authority in it, very interesting indeed. But right now it's in Scorpio, so transformations to our throat chakra, transformations happening to your routine. I know y'all feel it. The time is changing, you're changing, your routine is changing, how you want to do things is changing. It's just like me, I'm an earth sign, so I need to like sit still while things are changing, and then I'll start to flow with it once I see that it's done being out of transition. Once I see like a routine being built here, I'm like, okay, I can flow now. That's just how I move. I'm more of a double dutcher. I'm not like I love the lazy river in real life, but like in realms of what we're speaking, I'm not a lazy river person. I am a double dutcher. I'll wait until it's in a flow, and then I'm gonna go and jump in. Okay. So, peace to the transformations. Actually, be by the 28th, Mercury will almost be in the fixed part of Scorpio, so that I'll probably be jumping in there, around Halloweenish. Mercury will be fixed in Scorpio. I could fix myself in that, a little routine in there. But like major transformations happening here. Also, please be careful with y'all invocations. The veil is very thin here with Mercury and Scorpio. Y'all really be speaking stuff up. You got a lot of these newbie babies out here talking about different orishas and deities and veves and saints and shit they don't understand, they don't overstand, and they don't truly respect, and it's not gonna be a good look. Please don't do it. Please don't do it. I know that it's a fun time to do it and it's interesting, and please don't do it. Don't do it. It's not a good time. But and then it's crazy because some people don't know how to add 1 + 1 = 2. So all this bullshit start happening in their space, and they never think, oh, this bullshit is happening because I was doing bullshit around Halloween because it was a great time. Yeah, that's why the bullshit's happening. But like, cool, play that game if you want to play that game. I would just say like, be careful. It's not a good time to play that game unless you know how to play that game. Um, as Earth signs, do you guys feel it when animals or trees get hurt? Yes, it bothers me very much so. Especially trees. I'm a big tree person. When I went to Virginia, oh my god, I cried because the trees just felt so fucking sad. I could feel so much like it was a lot of pain in those trees. I was not feeling the vibes at all. I wasn't having a good time. Especially near like Williamsburg. The trees over there, they're so fucking sad. I started getting angry. Like I didn't know who I wanted to fight, but I wanted to fight somebody over these trees. It's crazy out here. Also Mercury on the Vedic scale is moving from Virgo into Libra. So harmony, peace to, the Scorpio, invocational thoughts. So on the feminine side, the experience, we have Sedna over here. We talked about Sedna a little bit. We touched on it a little bit because it was in Taurus and it moved in Gemini. So this is the like spiritual enlightenment and awareness, whatever. So right now it's an end community. So, you'll find yourself more so paying attention to people's spiritual level, especially if you have this part of yourself open. Instead of looking at people for their physical value, especially if you're truly trusting your gifts. A lot of you guys have different ways you could see people's souls, whether you could see them in color or you could feel the vibration or you just got this intuitive thing. Like it's not really much of a word you could put to it, or you could hear certain sounds coming off of them, or for a period of time I could smell people's energies, and that was very fucking annoying. Not recommended. That was not a cool one. We can pass on that. It was wild though. Wow. But yeah, it's different type of ways you could feel people's like energies now, because now we're becoming more aware, and the more aware you become, the more that reveals itself to you. So the more aware you become of your many facets of self, you're like thinking them into more existence. Yeah, the power of thought is crazy. Like I don't think y'all realize, like y'all like shit get real with the thoughts, and that's why so much energy going towards making sure we have the same thoughts during the same time of year. Like, oh yeah, we really need you guys around October 11th to really be thinking about Pilgrims and Christopher Columbus, and then we need to make all of October Indigenous People Day month, because if all your minds are collectively on the past during Libra season, you're not really bringing much into harmony, because you're set on like things of the past. You're set on one side, you're not really like putting things together. And then like I really need you guys like dressing up like random people, especially like people that represent like death and violence and stuff like that, around the time that we're talking about empowering our solar plexus chakras and providing transformation and rebirth. That's real important. And then during that same period of time, I need you guys to eat a big meal together during the time that your gut is experiencing this transformation. Eat lots of candy and big meals. And then during, the Sagittarius season, the sacral chakra, I need you guys to go into the realms of overindulging when the energy of this season is specifically about restraint and discipline. I don't know. Call me crazy. But things are just like in a really weird space. But anyway, so Setna is putting you in a space where like you could really see people where their spiritual level is in your own way, your own gift, however way you do it. That's what Sedna really does. We're starting to see people in our community more so for where their energetic stance is, and less what they physically look like or what they have and what kind of possessions they have and what are their accolades and stuff like that, like we were with Taurus. Now that's where our thoughts are. Now, even though our thoughts are there, the Vedic chart Sedna is still in cardinal Taurus. So we're still in a space where this is still like a truth though. Like, I want to look at you for your spiritual self. I like you for your spiritual self, but my mindset is still on stuff. Like, I still need to be protected and provided for. And this is still my definition of protection and provided. But luckily, we talked about Uranus and Jupiter being in Taurus. Lots of transformations, progressive forces are happening, and what that Taurus energy looks like. So as that Taurus energy still undergoes that makeover that Uranus and Jupiter is bringing to it, you'll find transformation that affecting Setna as well. Your experiences Setna as well. So that's pretty fun and exciting. Now in the actual like energy exchanges, when we get into Virgo, like what you're actually harvesting and creating after you get through finding some type of groundedness in those Gemini thoughts, we have Lilith here, and this is the energy being triggered, triggering things in motion, primordial energy. Now we're talking about the dark side of the moon. Again, please be careful with the invocation stuff this year. Please don't trip too hard. Lilith was still in Leo, so it's affecting our experiences, what we do here, in the space. Abundantia, abundance is here. So abundantia brings abundance to wherever it's near. So it's expanding on Lilith energy. So things are especially, what do you call it? Like, being expanded when you invoke and stuff. Like, I don't know if you guys tried to like manifest something, but it's coming really fast, I'm sure. Like, especially if it's little easy things, that should come like that. Venus is also here, which we talked about Venus a lot, about it being, your vibration, your, the balance beam. So it's like what you're attracting, what you materialize in your space, the energy exchange. Because as you deal with Taurus, the physical materialization, you also deal with Libra, which is the air energy exchange, right? So that combination of both is sitting here in Virgo. You're invoking both of those things. You're invoking what you want in your vortex. Harvest is here. Venus and harvest. Venus and Leo experiences. You're experiencing the things you harvest. Okay. So now we have, last but most certainly not least, we have the third eye energy, which is ruled by the sun and the moon. We started, of course, on the 14th with the sun and moon being in the tropical Libra and the Vedic Virgo energy, which was a great time. So now on the 28th, when we deal with the lunar eclipse, we're going to have the sun and tropical Scorpio. So transformational experiences, solar plexus chakra empowering experiences, a lot of experiences rooted in occultism. As you know, it's around All Hallows Eve. So, seeing all, death and rebirth and killer movies and, weird stuff under the moon and everybody's rituals and their things of doing invocation and seeking power and feeling powerful. Very interesting things indeed. And a lot of that is going to be geared towards opening up your intuition, your acceptance and openness to feminine energy, as well as safe, nurturing spaces and finding harmony in those realms. The moon will be, bringing new beginnings to the new moon in that space, which is pretty cool. And then it's in the 10th house. So it's in the house of like achievements and success. And so what's happening on the Vedic scale with the sun, so as we're having like those transformational thoughts and our feminine energy and finding balance and all that stuff like that, what's happening in the vibration of the things is Libra. It's the actual like balancing act of it. It's the actual equal energy exchange. And then the moon is having new beginnings in a successful space, and it's actually in Aries in the tropical and in the Vedic. It'll be in the Vedic it's in the cardinal. It'll be at the cardinal. And mind you, this is at midnight. So this is 12 hours before the actual full eclipse. So it's actually a little bit more than 12 hours away. So I'm pretty sure in 14 hours the moon will be somewhere else doing its best life. Because I know a lot of people are like, what about the Taurus? I thought it is Taurus. It is Taurus on the tropical. By the time we get to like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the moon will be in Taurus. Breathe. Um, so, but yeah, that's what's happening there. Um, new beginnings to the moon energy. And also, this is also a representation, like when I told you that Mars is in Scorpio, so there's transformations to the woman's moon cycle because the moon is in Aries. That's also another opening to the transformation in the moon cycle. So yeah, that's there. And so oh, I missed it. 111. I wasn't even paying attention, y'all. Peace. Thank you. Thank y'all for catching it. So in the Cancer energy, this is the feminine side of the third eye. We have Vesta here, so everybody's on their passionate self, what gets their Vestal fires going, is high up on the mind. And this is like what we want to give to our community, how we want to communicate these things. It It's in the 12th house, which is the Pisces house. Again, subconscious realm, ruling the whole realm. Do the shadow work, find out about like what it is that you really want to do, and being your authentic self. Your first house is in Cancer as well, so this is coming off your temperament. What you're passionate about. So if you feel confused, just be in a room full of people and just have random dialogue. And then, in your random dialogue, just pay attention to what you find yourself being truly passionate about. Like, what do you find, like, when people finally get to this subject, you're like, oh my God, I have a way into this conversation. Oh my God, I really want to talk about that. Like, or, oh, I wish the conversation will switch to this. I would rather talk about this. Like, think about stuff like that, because that gives you a really because Cancer, I don't know if you guys know, Cancer is all set, and that's associated with a SAR, and we know a SAR is associated with Aquarius. So this is the connection between the third eye and the root chakra right here, because it's awareness of death of being with one, and awareness of death of being amongst the collective. So this is the one amongst the collective type energy here, right? So, this is why I say, yeah, you're supposed to heal by yourself. You have a balance with the Cancer energy. Okay, I go inward. I'm by myself. I'm in the womb. I'm in the darkness, whatever. But you're also supposed to have a balance of the Aquarius energy of social interaction, because people come around you to show you what it is in your vortex that you're giving off. So you could be like, sometimes I'll be by myself so much, I don't realize how fucking weird I get until I'm around other people. And I'm like, oh, let me get myself together. Like, I've been around myself too long. Like, and that's why it's good to have a balance. Like, you've healed to your liking. Now you have to go out in the world and see and exercise that where you're at and see what needs to be tweaked. You know what I'm saying? That's how that works. You finally see Vesta? Oh yeah, Vesta is beautiful. Vesta is beautiful. Thank you, thank you. 7 Cancer placements. Oh, I love it. The water, baby. And so while all that's going on in the inside of things with Cancer, what the sun is reflecting upon and what kind of experiences the sun is giving us is Juno, which is like what we require in a bond to stay in it. And then Juno also deals with like relationships and marriage and stuff like that, as well as contracts. The second house deals with business, so we could be dealing with business contracts here, wealth and stuff like that. We also could be dealing with actual relationships, interpersonal relationships, and love stuff and friendship stuff. But this is like what you need here to stay here, and it's in the second house. And then it's moving into Virgo. So, again, coming back into the space of harvest, and now, we're actually putting the work to things. We're manifesting, materializing, invoking these things, doing the abracadabras, So that's happening there in Juno. And the fortune is here. So you said you wanted to talk about the part of fortune. That's the X marks the spot. It's the perpendicular spot between the moon's pathway and the sun's pathway. So where they interconnect. And right now they do it in Leo. X marks the spot in Leo at this time. And by the 28th, it'll be in Aquarius. And the fortune changes I want to say like every couple days, because this is like the this affects the rising energy too. So yeah, I want to say every couple days. So, as you finish dealing with after you finish dealing, okay, so that's not a good choice of words. So you have these, lower six chakras. All these chakras are associated with physical celestial bodies, but then when you get to the crown chakra, now you're dealing with the non-physical. So this is your association with the consciousness, the awareness, the connection to the universe, the cloud, the uploads and downloads or whatever. And so now you're into the, non-physical energy. And so, we just had the equinox. We're entering our way into the solstice, which is fun. So now I'm going to get into the actual happenings. I'm going to read off the astrological update with you guys. I'm going to get that like Jeopardy music. Like so October 14th, we started off the day at a 0% waning crescent moon. It rose at 6:56 a.m. and set at 6:23 p.m. We were in the Libra zodiac energy with it in the 4th house. The moon and Mercury were at minimal angle at 3:27 a.m. The moon was 0.8 degrees south southwest. Conjunction was at 4:07 a.m. with the moon being 0.9 degrees south. And no, this was not visible. The new moon was at 1:56 p.m. That was when the moon was between the sun and earth, and no, it was not visible. The solar eclipse occurred at 1:55 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm in the Burlington, New Jersey area, so the max time over here was 1:23 p.m. Pallas was the furthest distance to the earth at 2:24 p.m. We know Pallas rules over the genius qualities in yourself that you like overlook. So that was the furthest distance. So you weren't near any of those experiences. The activity of the Epsilon Geminids began on the 14th. So the maximum activity is on the 18th, and they move about 3 an hour. The moon at Spica was in conjunction at 7:37 p.m. The moon was 1.5 degrees north. Minimal angle happened at 8:26 p.m. The moon was 1.4 degrees north northeast, and no, it was not visible. So the moon was still in like Virgo constellation, so it was still near like the Virgo star. Spica is the star of harvest, so that was definitely in a divine alignment to the theme of the Telegram group and putting our seeds into the cosmos. Now the moon is on descending node, so it's getting closer. It was at 0 at 9:12 p.m., so now it's decreasing. October 15th, which was Sunday, the moon was at 0% waxing crescent moon. So now we're in the space where the moon is building now. It's getting bigger. So we had the waning moon where we're in the moon of cleansing, letting things go, getting rid of things. So now that we're in the waxing crescent, now we're building new mindsets. We're replacing because we let go last phase to make room for a new. So now you should be building on things. If you didn't get a chance to like clear out everything last phase, like of course move some stuff, but remember that a lot of your experiences are about you building and creating things. Right, the more you look in the sky, the more you see, right? That's so crazy. So October 15th, the moon and Mars was at minimal angle at 9:22 a.m. The moon was 1.2 degrees south southwest. Conjunction was at 11:35 a.m. The moon was 1.6 degrees south, and it wasn't visible. Deneb is replacing Vega as a zenith star. Zenith star is like the pole star at the top. The Triangulum galaxy is going to reach the highest point in the sky. That happened at midnight. The Triangulum galaxy is also known as M33. And then the International Space Station was visible from 6:33 a.m. to 6:41 a.m. in the Hydra constellation. Now, October 16th, which was what was that, Monday? We started the day off at a 2% waxing crescent moon, moon of building the intangibles. Now we're creating transformations and empowering our solar plexus chakra as we were in the Scorpio zodiac and the fourth house with that energy. The sun rose at 7:10 a.m. and it set at 6:18 p.m. Nishimura C2023 is a comet. It was in conjunction with the sun at 7:05 a.m. It was 17.2 degrees south southwest of the sun, and of course, it wasn't visible because the sun is bright as shit. The moon and Zubin El Janubi were in minimal angle at 9:42 a.m. The moon was 2.6 degrees south southwest. Conjunction occurred at 1:23 p.m. with the moon being 3.1 degrees south. Then we had the best visibility of Earthshine on the moon just before dusk. And then also the evening visibility of the moon also began. Hold on 1 second, y'all. My bad. There you go. There it is. Okay. So Zubin El Janubi is a star in the Libra constellation. So even though we're in the Scorpio zodiac, we're still in the Libra constellation. Remind you that the moon and Zubin El Janubi were in minimal angle in conjunction. Zubin El Janubi gives off the energy of like redemption. It's the energy of Saturn and Mars. So it's like challenges that bring like strategy and ambition and motivation. So that was that energy on the 16th. On the 17th, we had started the day off with a 6% waxing crescent moon, the moon rising at 10:13 a.m. and setting at 7:46 p.m. We're still in the Scorpio zodiac energy with it, so thoughts are still on transformation to our nurturing spaces. Now we're in the fifth house with it. So now we're in a house of like inner child, and our inner romantic creative self is taking the forefront. The sun rose at 7:11 a.m. and it set at 6:17 p.m. The moon and Dashuba were in conjunction at 10:42 p.m. The moon was 1.9 degrees south. Minimal angle at 10:13 p.m. The moon was 1.9 degrees south, and it was observable at 7:23 p.m. with a 2.4 degrees southwest separation. The moon in Graphias was also in minimal angle at 11:39 p.m. The moon was 4.9 degrees south. We were able to observe that at 7:29 p.m. with a 5.4 degrees southwest separation. Now, the Shuba and Graphius are a part of the Scorpius constellation. So Graphius gives off the energy of Mars and Saturn as well. The Shuba also gives off the energy of Mars and Saturn. So these are very violent stars for the moon to be around. Excuse me. This is the energy of like assault and morality. Also, like, you know, like just like warrior energy. We go from the realms of like, this is like the teeter totter between passion and like, you know, kind of like that crazy like thriller, okay, you're scaring me kind of energy. So that's the energy between Graphius and Dashuba, because it's the claws. We're talking about the claws. Graphius is the claws of the Scorpius. So, you know, that's the attacker energy. That's the assault and the morality energy. And then we have Dashuba being like the head of the Scorpion, which, you know, is the thought that, you know, brings on the assault morality. Everything begins with a thought, right? So, you know, people that have like different like aspects towards these stars usually be like killers or weirdos. Also weird like rituals happen around this time and space, you know, and different like cults and stuff like that, if they were into that sort of thing, because this energy is also in the fifth house, which is children. So you add those numbers up how you want to, but I gave you the spiel. Where are we at? We on October 17th. The Mercury, okay. Mercury and Spica were also in conjunction at 10:08 p.m. Mercury was 3.3 degrees north. Spica is the energy of like curing, success and riches and harvest and grain. Is located on the grain of wheat that Virgo energy, the Virgo Virgin is holding. Oh, so that's the pathway of the moons. The zodiacal light is looking like it's going across the sky now. So, you know, it makes, you know, the horizon look different, which is fun. Medusa's eye pulses. I saw a couple people on like TikTok and stuff were catching that pulsating star, but yeah, that was Medusa's eye. And then this was the eclipse. Good times. It was so cloudy and rainy over here. We could have saw that. They wanted clouds. They blocked us from that joint. They corny as hell for that. So this is the triangulum joint over here. Perseus is pretty cool looking. This is the crescent moon near Mars. Talked about that on the 15th. And then it's making its way to Zubin el Janubi. Um, yeah, Mercury is being. The moon is at perihelion, which is the closest point to the sun on the 17th. And then the International Space Station was visible in the Hydra constellation. Now, in October 18th, which is today, we are starting the day off with a 13% waxing crescent moon. We're still in the moon of building upon intangibles, thoughts, mindsets, and stuff. The moon rising at 11:23 a.m. is setting at 8:27 p.m. We are now in the Sagittarius zodiac energy in the space of expansion, the sacral chakra energy in the fifth house. So feeling joy, generosity, and optimism now that we've gotten through those turbulent stars the moon was near. The sunrise at 7:12 a.m. is setting at 6:15 p.m. Mars is the furthest distance to the Earth at 5:31 a.m., which is called apogee. The west side of the moon, which is crater Grimaldi, is tipped into view at 6:48 a.m. Mercury and Spica are at minimal angle at 5:54 p.m. Mercury is 3 degrees northeast, and no, this is not visible. Delta Argirids reached the end of their activity. That's a meteor shower. Epsilon Geminids reached their max activity at 3 an hour. That's a meteor shower. The moon and Aries are at minimal angle at 8:48 a.m. The moon will be 0.5 degrees northeast conjunction at 8:35 a.m. The moon will be 0.5 degrees north, and we'll be able to observe that at 6:48 p.m. with a 4.4 east-southeast separation. And it will be an occultation, so it'll be like a little eclipse with the moon in Aries. Now, after you get through the Mars and Saturn stars of Orpheus and Scorpius, you finally get to like a breath of fresh air within Aries, because we replaced the Saturn energy with Jupiter. So the challenge energy has now turned to optimism, and now we are motivated towards the and the optimism, and we learned our lesson, and that challenge wasn't so bad after all. It's like the end of every 90s cartoon. That is the hint Aries. The sun will be entering Libra constellation at midnight on the the sun just entered Libra constellation, y'all. Thank you for sitting with me during that transition. Juno enters Virgo constellation right now at 1:30. So Juno just entered Virgo. Yay! Aries is at opposition of the sun and is closest to the earth around 9:30 p.m., which is called perigee. Now, October 19th, we start the day off with a 20% waxing crescent moon, still building, moon rising at 12:29 p.m. and setting at 9:17 p.m. We are in the Sagittarius zodiac energy with it in the fifth house, still pleasing our inner child energy. The sun rising at 7:14 a.m. and setting at 6:14 p.m. Mercury enters Libra constellation. So now we have our throat chakra entering the vibration of balance, harmony, and justice. And that happens at 1:30 a.m. Mercury is at superior solar conjunction, which is its max brightness will be at 2:13 p.m. The International Space Station is visible from 4:57 a.m. to 5:03 a.m. in the Pyxis constellation, and then again at 6:30 a.m. to 6:41 a.m. in the Cancer constellation. And then the activity of the Leo Minorids begins. Their maximum date is on the 24th of October, and they move at like 2 an hour, which isn't bad. It's not bad. I'm not hating. October 20th, we're at a 30% waxing crescent moon. Now we're building in Capricorn, so we're at the root chakra, and the moon will be in the sixth house. So we're building on our wellness and our routine. Moon rising at 1:31 p.m. and setting at 10:19 p.m. The sunrise will be at 7:15 a.m. and setting at 6:12 p.m. Ceres and Zubin El Janubi will be in conjunction at 1:05 a.m. Ceres will be 3.7 degrees north. We talked about Zubin El Janubi being a part of the Saturn and Mars type energy. Lots of challenges here, and that's the challenges that happen as the seed is sprouting. The seeds we planted sprout and go through. It's not easy to break through dirt. It's a lot of pressure in dirt. So, these are where some of those challenges come into play, and it's okay. Be not moved, because I know the first quarter moon is coming, and that's like the moon of caution, and you start to feel like, oh, I'm not getting my return fast enough, and it's like, no, 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 chill, 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 it's coming. All right. So anyway, Mercury will be at superior conjunction. Still, max declination of the moon during this cycle is at 5:10 a.m. So the moon's going to be like super close. The International Space Station will be visible from 5:45 a.m. to 5:52 a.m. in the Hydra constellation. The activity of the North Towards begin. Their maximum is November 12th, and they move about 5 an hour. The moon and Cos Borealis will be in conjunction at 8:28 a.m., with the moon being 3.2 degrees south, minimal angle at 8:12 a.m., with the moon being 3.2 degrees south. And we'll be able to observe that at 7:02 p.m. with a 6.4 degree southeast separation. Now, Cos Borealis is the star in the Sagittarius constellation. So even though we're in the Capricorn zodiac, we're still in the Sagittarius constellation. So the vibration is still on that sacral chakra energy. Now, Cos Borealis gives off the energy of Jupiter and Mars. Now we're in the realms of ambition and pride, power, business, and justice, and motivation towards finding that, business success, and the silver lining. Like, okay, I know the silver lining to give me joy. Now I want to experience the silver lining here. Okay. Motivation towards that, with the moon being in alignment with that. Pluto is going to have the best visibility of the year, and then the moon in Albaldo will be in conjunction at 2:38 a.m. The moon will be 7 degrees south. So Albaldo is also in the Sagittarius constellation. This is located at the back of the head of the archer, and this is about gaining and harvest and building. All right. So this star kind of prepares you into moving into the Capricorn constellation, which is what we're about to do. So we're starting to build on those things. We said we wanted to experience the silver lining. Well, now we got to build towards it, because that's a part of manifesting. Manifesting is the festival of the hands. It's not just like, oh, I want it, it's going to come to me. No, we have to move towards it. Okay, so October 21st, we start the day off with a 40% waxing crescent moon. We're still building. Now we're in the Capricorn zodiac energy still. We're in the sixth house with it, so wellness on daily routines and habits and stuff. Sunrise at 7:16 a.m. and setting at 6:11 p.m. Venus reaches the highest point in the sky at 10:45 p.m. The International Space Station will be visible from 4:58 a.m. to 5:03 a.m. in the Hydra constellation, and then again at 6:31 a.m. to 6:40 a.m. in Cassiopeia, which is the W in the sky. Comet 2P Enki will be at max brightness at 12:48 in Virgo constellation. The North Pole of the moon will be tempted to view at 5:14 p.m. The Orionids reach the max activity on the 21st. They go at 25 an hour, so you definitely could catch one of those in Orion's belt area. And for honestly, I think in a couple days after this, Orion will be visible too. The moon and Pluto will be in conjunction at 10:01 p.m. The moon will be 3.3 degrees south, minimal angle at 12:15 a.m. The moon will be 3 degrees south southeast, and we'll be able to observe that at 10:55 p.m. with a 3.1 degree south separation. The first quarter moon, again, we talked about that. The moon of caution, it rises at 11:30 p.m. It'll be best visible after sunset, of course. October 22nd, now we're at the 50%. We're at the first quarter moon, so we're starting the day here because, the first quarter moon didn't come till 11:30 p.m. anyway. There's no set time for setting. We're still in the Capricorn zodiac and the sixth house of routine and wellness. The sunrise is 7:17 a.m. and set at 6:09 p.m. The Orionid meteor shower will peak, be visible around 10 p.m. It's active until November 7th. All right. So we have 2 days of the peak of the Orionids. Venus will be at dichotomy, which means it'll be half lit, and that'll be at 6:36 p.m. The comet 2P Enki passes perihelion in Virgo, and no, it will not be visible. and that's out around 12:04 midnight. I like comets because comets are like, so what comets are is they like collect all the ancient material throughout the cosmos. So it's kind of like have that's like a wonderful recipe for downloads and tapping into Akashic records. Like they literally come across the skies to give you ancient knowledge. And then you have the meteors, circulating the meteor shower circulating that cosmic ancient knowledge. So, your comets go across the sky, the meteor showers bring the minerals and things and the information and stuff closer to us to receive it. It brings it closer to our roots. So it's like the moisture is in the air, but it has to rain for the roots in the dirt of the plant to get the moisture that it needs, the minerals from the rain and stuff that it needs, right? Yeah, the Draconoid meteor shower was so cloudy. I hope the Orionid meteor shower is not like too bad because they really did us dirty for this eclipse. Like, I'm like, bro, y'all know we had clear skies all week and we might have had some random chunky clouds, but they were very like consolidated. And then for us to have just like those spread out shitty clouds that day, that was wild. Y'all did that. But anyway, so where are we? We are on the 22nd, right? Um, Vesta will be the largest distance to the sun at 1:27 a.m. The International Space Station is visible from 4:12 a.m. to 4:13 a.m. in the Sextans constellation, and then again from 5:45 a.m. to 5:55 a.m. in the Arga constellation. And then the AM visibility of Virgo begins. Then October 23rd, we start the day off with a 62% waxing gibbous moon, the moon rising at 3:41 p.m. and setting at 12:45 a.m. We're in the Aquarius zodiac energy with it now. So now we're back in the root chakra and our nurturing space, social awareness, sun rising at 7:18 a.m., sun setting at 6:08 p.m. Mercury enters Scorpio zodiac at this time at 1:30 a.m. Venus will be at its greatest elongation, which is an angle from us. Ceres and Zubin El Janubi will be at minimal angle at 3:29 a.m. Ceres will be 3.5 degrees northeast, and no, this will not be visible. We know Zubin Al Janubi gives off that Saturn and Mars challenges that get you pushing to move forward, and Ceres is the agricultural energy. So we still have these energies coming around each other. Creating that muscle that those roots need to push through the dirt. The International Space Station is visible from 4:59 to 5:02 a.m. in Coma Berenices, and then in Canis Venatici at 6:31 a.m. to 6:38 a.m. Moon and Deneb El Geldi is in conjunction at 3:49 p.m. The moon will be 3.2 degrees south, minimal angle at 7 p.m. with the moon being 2.9 degrees south southeast, and this will be visible at those respective times. Deneb El Geldi gives off the energy of Capricorn. It's in the Capricorn constellation. I'm sorry. So even though we're in the Aquarius zodiac, we're still in the Capricorn constellation. This energy gives off the star gives off the energy of Saturn and Jupiter. So it's like challenges and things like that in the realms of your sacral chakra, balancing, finding order. So like temptation can be found here or whatever to see like, how balanced you are in your sacral chakra and stuff. So be mindful of that. Like, we will not be moved. And this is in the seventh house, like the moon is in Aquarius in the seventh house. So like seventh house energy is interpersonal relationships. So like somebody might come up and be like, I know how to tempt you to do whatever. You gotta be like, get thee behind me, Satan. So like mush the shit out of that on the 23rd. Now on the 24th, we're at the 73% waxing gibbous moon. The moon rising at 4:11 p.m. and setting at 2:02 a.m. We are still in the Aquarius zodiac. Now we're in the 8th house of transformation. So now we had the one-on-one relationships in the 7th house the day before. So now we like, okay, transformations. I already know what need to happen. Harmony on all this. There was a hospital explosion in Israel that killed 500 people. Oh my goodness. It's crazy. Pluto being in Capricorn is bringing wild experiences. It's extreme, and it's a lot of death that comes into that space, and so that's what happens is war. It's always a big war that happens. A lot of death and rebirth happens. Transformations of energy, transmutations of energy, whether it be people, the animals, the nature, the air, all of that is going through those extreme transformations. It's not just, and this is not to, dismiss the human body, but it's an accumulation of energy that's having this transformation, this rebirth. And it really sucks the way that it happens, the way that it's being presented to us in our experiences. You know what I mean? The human experience is really wild, in alignment with the animal kingdom and the way the natural cycles work. Because it's like, why does it have to be like war to be that representation of transformation? You know what I mean? Why can't it be something a little different? Why can't it be as peaceful as the leaves falling off the trees? You know what I'm saying? But peace to those people, peace to those families. You know, yes, they were called home. And so they're experiencing their solar plexus transformations, how they need to experience it. And I don't want to be insensitive. I've been around death a lot. Death is, I'm not new to death. And so like for me, I feel like we fall short in how we interpret death, because it really affects the people that are left behind. We walk around with all these thoughts like, were they in pain? What do they feel? I didn't say this. I didn't do that. I remember, it's who's left behind that it really bothers, is the energy that's here. And so we have to learn how to transmute that energy too. And I see a lot of people learning how to do it a lot better, where it's like, okay, instead of us mourning and being sad, we're celebrating their life, and we're allowing these people to live on through us, and we're learning how to transmute that level of transformation, because that's what you do. You eat that energy and you let that energy live on in you, instead of mourning and being sad and invoking this energy in that kind of light. So I don't know. With that being said, honor those people. Honor the energy that they represented, that they still represent. What can we do to help expand that energy and empower that energy in a Scorpius way? And Mars is in Scorpio too. So let's ask ourselves those questions. Why, be in alignment with what the netters are doing. Mars is in Scorpio right now. So like, what can we do? Where should we circulate our energy towards to give honors to those that's experiencing these transformations, death, and rebirth? I know a lot of people turn to their arts. A lot of people have their Mars placed in artsy places. So whether it be like, a Venusian space like Libra or Venus or something. So, some people have their Mars and Gemini, where they're teaching people, they're reporting, they're talking about it. Some people have it in Virgo, where they're teaching and reporting about it. Some people writing songs, writing books, just expanding, keeping this energy alive. Some people got their Mars and Aries. They out there ready to throw hands. They ready to be warriors. Yeah, raising the planet, raising the vibration of the planet. That's in alignment with Maya. Um, we don't do wrong to those who do wrong or wish evil upon us. That's how you make things eradicate. If you poke out my eye and I keep poking you back, and we keep going back and forth like that, then we all gonna be blind at some point. But at some point in time, you just like when we watching the drug movies, right? You watch the drug movies and the gang movies, and there's always that one person like, bro, this has got to stop. When is it going to stop? Somebody has to be in alignment with my yacht. Somebody got to do it. Somebody got to yield. Because if we don't, it's going to be nothing left. And we be learning that watching BET. And see, y'all was over here complaining about the movies they play all the time. And see, look, they're actually helpful. But yeah. I was about to say I don't know, but I'd be knowing. Balance and harmony, with the justice scales doesn't look like you did this, so I'm going to do that. The harmony scales are supposed to be in alignment with weighing your heart as light as a feather. And we lost sight of that when we changed the Mayat scales into Lady Justice scales. Because Lady Justice scales is about retribution, and that's not in alignment with Mayat. That's why we always at war. Oh, he hit me. I'm about to hit him back. Oh, they won't take my money. I'm about to do this. Oh, they won't do that. I'm about to do it. Always playing a sanction game and shit like that. That's not my yacht, bro. That's not. And that's why we in the space that we at. So all that to say, Kayshawn, I believe in you. I agree with you. A lot of energy harvesting taking place, most definitely. I don't watch the news. I don't do any of that shit. And I will say this, because I don't do any of that stuff, I feel so light. I feel so free. I don't listen. I have a couple customers that come into the store regularly and they tell me about what they see in the news, and they energy be feeling so frantic, and I could feel it trying to infiltrate my energy. Mind you, I told y'all I'd be thinking about energy exchanges like chemical equations, and then I'd be seeing them. And so it be like they energy be spiky, and they be trying so hard to like spike into my energy, like to like cause my membrane to like start leaking out plasma or something or whatever, and it just don't work. Like it just don't be sharp enough. It's like trying to stab with a butter knife or whatever. But like they should be, it be hurting them though, it be spiking them though, like they really be like stuck into that shit. Like, oh my god, I watched the news, they said this gonna happen, it's gonna be World War III, everybody gonna die, this, that, and third, da da da, food's going up, inflation, blah blah blah, gas going up, da da da. And they're saying these things in a manner that they're waiting for me to be frantic with them. You know what I'm saying? So in my mindset, that's like your energy is spiky. You trying to poke in my membrane, bro, but it's not working. I'm not finna panic with you. I don't give a fuck what you talking about. I'm not finna panic with you. Like I got so much trust in the universe and nature and abundance and my intellect and where I'm at as a person and how much I've trained up my kids. Like it's so much fucking trust there, bro. I don't care about what you talking about. Now, if I come to a space and time where I'm dealt with some Saturn challenges, and Pluto's and Saturn, so that shit finna be extreme. So if I come towards some space and time where I come now, I'm gonna hop that bridge accordingly. I got hit by a car last year, bro. I was in a wheelchair. I had to get a rod put in my bone and then let the other bone fend for itself because it was too small to correct. I'm not saying that what I've been through is equivalent to somebody hiking in Amazon mountains in South America right now, but like it's brought a certain level of ease to my solar plexus chakra. It's kind of difficult to explain. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not easily moved. I'm not easily moved right now. You're not finna scare me. It's cool. I'll, I'm not going to feel, I don't feel bad for anything. I don't feel bad for anybody. I got condolences to hand out, but I don't feel bad. I just feel like we are in a cycle of nature. There's nothing new under the sun. If you pay attention to the cycles of how we spend every year, every 4 years, every 8 years, if you pay attention to the Fibonacci years, the 369s, the 257s, the 1 4, what is it? 1 4, is it 1 4? So it's 258? Yeah, 258, 147. If you pay attention to those, you'll see the cycles. Like be a numerologist. The numerology and astrology, they go hand in hand. The gematria, all that shit go hand in hand. So like if you do the numbers and you see the patterns or whatever, every 4 years these niggas do the same shit. Every year they do the same shit. This is the end of their fiscal new year. Of course they're going to close government. Of course they're going to raise shit. Of course they're going to find different ways to allocate their funds. And it always goes to war because war is the easiest way to allocate the funds. Of course, they're going to do some different rituals to invoke your spirits. Of course, every year around this time, they come out with Halloween TV shows and movies and shit because they want your souls invoked into these organites on the TV, and they don't want you to think nothing of it. Meanwhile, they people more kids is going kidnapped this time of year than any like you think more kids is going kidnapped in the summertime. They going kidnapped in the dark. We in the dark, bro. It get dark at 4 o'clock when kids is walking home from school. Kids is getting kidnapped now. Everybody walking around with Halloween costumes on all month long or whatever. Starting Halloween all early and shit, taking people kids. Like the shit is happening now. I just told y'all the moon is in the 5th house and Scorpio in the 5th house. That shit is happening now. 5th house is children, transformations. Scorpio energy is death. You know, taking our children to go watch these movies, go watch these TV shows, to engage in this shit. They want the kids more than they want us. Like, you go ahead and take your old ass to a Halloween costume contest. We don't give a fuck. We want them kids. Them kids is doing how they going trick or treating. They doing parades, walking in a fucking circle with costumes on. like we want the kids. We want them. Yeah, because next year is the year 8, and you know 8 deals with secrets. So all the secrets is coming out next year. It's going to be a lot popping off, a lot of transformations, extreme transformations happen next year. So yeah, definitely the politicians and shit. Yeah, you got hit by a truck. Yeah. Well, on 2222, I got T-boned by a SUV. I had a little Toyota Yaris. My Yaris got T-boned by somebody's Ford Explorer, and I got pushed into an 18-wheeler. So that was the first veil thin experience. Mind you, that was on a full moon. It was 222 on a Tuesday, and that was the Lunar New Year. It was a Cancer full moon at that. Fucking bullshit. Then, then on Halloween last year, my body gets hit by a car. My leg got ran over by a fucking mini SUV. This lady on her phone ran over my leg, and so I had to get a rod put in my leg. So that was like, I had both those experiences in the same year. You know, I'm kind of chill right now. I'm kind of really chill. It doesn't take much. Well, yeah, I'm glad you're good, Kayshawn, because getting hit by a truck, that's wild. That's wild. The kids are powerful, and that's why they always gunning for our kids. That's why they always gunning. That's why, like, the entertainment industry, they focus on the solar plexus stage of lifespan development, which is the age of 14 to 21. So 14 to 21, I'm targeting your solar plexus. I'm telling y'all what the light. Y'all want to go into the military, you want to go into college. What's going to empower you? I'm telling you what's going to empower you, how to empower yourself. And then before that, before you get there, you got 7 to 14. That's the puberty stage. They telling you what to like. They telling you what you find enjoyment in. You want to like this, you want to like that. This your favorite color. That's your favorite song. This your favorite artist. This is that. Whatever. So when you 14 and 20, 21, you walking around thinking that you in charge of yourself, and you over here with a false sense of control and a false sense of confidence, and you're not even in your authentic self. That's why in psychology they call that period of time the time where where you're trying to find awareness and stuff. You're trying to find yourself. But if you allow these energies that be, especially the public school system, to have, to feed your child or feed yourself during these paid stages of time, they're going to tell you what brings you confidence. You get confidence because you got an A on your test. You get confidence because you got a 4.0 GPA. You got confidence because you got this degree. You get this kind of paycheck. You work here. Like, the school feeds you that shit. And a lot of people still walk around with that. That's school. That wasn't even your parents. Your parents was out here working at fucking McDonald's part time and working as a CNA full time. They wasn't telling you all of that because back then our parents was heavy on the child's play shit. So you ain't realize why certain things was happening the way they was happening. You were just living your life. Your parents was keeping shit away from you. Meanwhile, school feeding you what the fuck you supposed to be and shit. And a lot of people miss target. They say, "Oh, my mom," and no, it wasn't. It was school. Your mom was out here doing the best she could. Now, for some of y'all, it was y'all mom and dad, but like what's my life path? My life path. No, I'm an 11. I'm an 11. Yup. But yeah, let's get back into it. So, October 24th, we talked about the sun entering Scorpio zodiac, right? On the 24th. Almea is going to be in solar conjunction. Almea is the asteroid for nurturing self and the divine feminine energy and the flow with nature. So it's going to be in alignment with our experiences, 27-degree separation. It's the longest distance to Earth. The moon and Saturn will be at minimal angle at 6:33 a.m. The moon will be 2.8 degrees south southeast conjunction at 5:06 a.m. The moon will be 3 degrees south, and we'll be able to observe that at 1:43 a.m. with a 4.5 degrees south southwest separation. Venus will be the longest at the largest elongation at 7:03 p.m. Venus will be 46 degrees west northwest. Best observed around 6:50 a.m. in Leo. So look towards the Leo constellation. You'll be able to see Venus out there sitting pretty. Also remind you that Leo's in the second house, so Leo will be the second constellation rising. Leo's also in the third house too. So in between the second and 6 hour. The International Space Station will be visible from 5:45 to 5:50 a.m. in Cephas constellation. The Leo minorities will reach the max activity at 2 an hour on the 24th. Now, October 25th, we had an 83% waxing gibbous moon. The moon rising at 4:37 p.m. and setting at 5:18 a.m. We are in the Pisces zodiac energy with it now in the 8th house of transformation. The sunrise at 7:20 a.m. and sunset at 6:05 p.m. The Leonis minor meteor shower is active from October 19th to the 27th, and it peaks on the 25th. That comes from the Leo minor constellation, is visible around 3:30 a.m. The AM visibility of the moon begins. The International Space Station is visible from 4:58 a.m. to 5:01 a.m. in the Alkaid constellation, and then from 6:31 a.m. to 6:37 a.m. in Cephas. Juno and Regulus will be in conjunction. Remember that bonds, and Regulus is all about riches and glory and power. So power couples come into play on the 25th. You might be hearing about some power couples on this day. That conjunction is happening at 11:10 a.m. and Juno will be at 8.1 degrees south. The moon and Neptune will be a conjunction at 8:46 p.m. The moon will be 2.4 degrees south. And then the moon will be the smallest distance to Earth. So the moon's going to be close to shit around 11:50 p.m. That's going to be a nice big moon. Yeah, the numbers, right? I've been really digging the numbers of the moon rise and set, as well as the degrees and the times of the different transits. It's been really cool. I don't know cardiology very well. My mom is really good at it though. Ooh, 5, 6, 7, and 11. Dope. Yeah, the person that had me, they on the same type of time. They talking about something they didn't they not taking liability. So what I just found out today, because it was this brother that always come into the store today, he was like, sometimes lawyers be like stalling on cases because they get paid off by the insurance companies to do that. So I'm like, okay, so it's been almost a year and my lawyers ain't really been communicating with me. And I'm like, y'all did all of this, I live in Jersey, so they had like this law, like they want to go after the insurances that's in the house first. But then y'all half-ass going after her, and she the one that hit me. So like, people in my house, being penalized for their vehicle insurance situations or whatever. And because I wasn't on the insurances, like why, like there's no law saying I have to be on their car insurances if I'm not driving their cars. It was my body that got hit. So that's what I'm trying to explain to them. But that just didn't make sense to me. Like, that's a weird ass New Jersey law. Like, you have to go after the insurances in the house first. Like, if I don't have a car, why are you going after the people in the house and making it seem like I'm supposed to be on the insurance? Like, that's not an obligation if I'm not driving their car. If I was driving their car, my body wouldn't have got hit by a car. I wouldn't have been cars in the street. I'd have been driving. Like, it just didn't make sense. And but then when we get down to the lady that actually hit me, now all of a sudden it's like, oh, she's not accepting liability. Well, what the fuck does that mean? My mom didn't accept liability neither, but that didn't stop y'all from going ham on her insurance. Like, for a whole like 6, 7, 8 months, y'all had me using a claim number that didn't work. Like, it's a whole thing. I had to go to physical therapy and shit, like, you know, dealing with insurances with the physical therapy, and everybody want car insurance and stuff like that. It's buns. It was a whole thing. It's like that in Georgia too. Yeah, like, why I gotta tell y'all so hard? Like, bro, I was fucking walking. Like, y'all are weird. My day, 1990. Oh, the day and the month? My bad. I don't know why I looked at that and still said in my head, oh, month and year. It's 9/19. That's my day and month. 9/19, September 19th. I got a lot of nines in my dome. But yeah, I heard that they like be getting paid off by the insurance to stall. So I'm finna fire these motherfuckers. Cause like that's what y'all not finna do. And you know what's crazy? I kept flipping like the reverse justice and judgment card and the devil card and shit like that. And I'm like, I feel like this is for me. And I just feel like that's some bullshit. Like, if that's really what y'all doing, cause like y'all really took a whole year from my life. And I like homeschool my kids. I got my own business. Like, I ain't nobody employee, bro. Like, I work for myself and I make money off of like driving around in my car and shit, you know, going to events and performing and teaching and stuff like that. Like, corny as hell. And I homeschool my kids, so I like to do trips. Like, I like to take them to museums and the art institute and stuff like that. I couldn't even do that for like a whole fucking year. I was stuck on the couch, bro. Like, I want to fight. I don't want to fight. So like, yeah, I really ain't trying to hear what somebody gotta say about what the fuck happening on the news. Like, bro, if only you knew the thoughts that go in my head on a regular basis, you would get the fuck out my face talking about what happened on the news. I don't care what you talking about, bro. My world is so out. I understand it to certain people that's just like so crazy, and I just don't care. I just don't. I don't. Because sometimes I think like the old me will look at me and be like, bitch, you're nuts. And it's like, yeah, I am. And I love it here. It's calm here. So yeah, anyway, we talked about October 14th, right? So we talked about Juno Regulus, Moon being Sponges, and Earth, blah, blah, blah. So October 26th, we start the day off at a 90% waxing gibbous moon, the moon rising at 5:02 and setting 4:33 a.m. We're in the Pisces zodiac energy with it now. So now we're in the subconscious and we're building on the subconscious realm. We're expanding ourselves because Pisces is in the ninth house. We're in the ninth house energy with it. So that's Sagittarius house. So with like just straight sacral chakra energy, October 26th. The sunrise is 7:21 a.m. and setting at 6:04 p.m. The moon in Neptune at minimal angle at 12:06 a.m. The moon is 1.6 degrees southeast. The International Space Station is visible from 5:44 a.m. to 5:48 a.m. in the Cephas constellation, and Mercury is the furthest distance to Earth. So the moral and integral code is out the motherfucking window. We all up in our sacral chakra that day. I just started thinking about candy. October 27th, 96% waxing gibbous moon rising at 5:27 and setting at 5:48. We're in the Aries, so now new beginnings in this space. In the ninth house with it, so Sagittarius expansion. Sunrise at 7:22 a.m. and setting at 6:03 p.m. Perseus, which is a double cluster, is going to be well placed, which is like midheaven level at 8:40. It's going to be at its highest at midnight, and every night thereafter it rises 4 minutes earlier. So it's gonna be midnight at on October 27th, and then it's gonna be at midheaven at 11:56 on the 28th, then 11:52 on October 29th. Then you get where I'm going with this. Perseus is slowly, you know, getting to that midheaven space earlier and earlier each night. So the Epsilon Geminis reached the end of their activity on October 27th. The Leo Minorids also reached the end of their activity. And then the moon is on the ecliptical latitude 0, and it's increasing at 11:22 p.m. So the moon has been super close. Now it's going to be going up. October 28th, 99% waxing gibbous moon, the moon rising at 5:54 p.m. and setting at 7:02 a.m. We are now in the zodiac Aries still, new beginnings, cardinal energy, ambition and motivation in the 10th house. So now success and stuff like that. Yeah, I like Perseus too. When I was a kid, Orion was my jam though. Orion was just like really easy to find. And then I used to notice like certain times of the year, it would be like the nebula clouds around Orion's belt. Now that I'm older, like, I have a better, um, I know like that's the summertime things and stuff like that. The sun rises at 7:23 a.m. and setting at 6:02 p.m. October 28th is the Hunter's Moon, which is the full moon, is going to be in full effect at 4:25 p.m. The Earth will be between the moon and the sun, and the moon will be visible all night. Partial lunar eclipse is going to occur at 4:14 p.m. Parts of the moon cross over the shadow of the Earth. This will be a partial eclipse. It's not a whole shebang, which is still fun. We still love it here. And then Abuntia, which is an asteroid of abundance, will be entering Libra, so balance and fairness to the abundance of things. October 29th, we are now at a 100% waning gibbous moon, so we started the day off at 100% waxing, building, and now we're in 100% of cleansing. The moon rising at 6:25 p.m. and setting at 8:17 a.m. We are in the Taurus zodiac energy with it, in the 10th house of success. The sunrise at 7:25 a.m. and setting at 6 p.m. The comet C 2023 H2 Lemon passes perihelion at 29 degrees. It'll be visible around 5 a.m. So we have another, ancient energy just crossing across the sun and just let it rain down on us. The moon and Jupiter will be minimal angle at 2:10 a.m. The moon will be 2.6 degrees north-northwest, conjunction at 5:29 a.m. The moon will be 2.9 degrees north, and it'll be visible at those respective times. So catch yourself outside around 2 a.m. or 5 a.m. Mercury and Mars will be at minimal angle at 9:16 a.m. Mercury will be 0.3 degrees south-southwest, conjunction at 1:13 p.m. I'm sorry. Mercury will be 0.4 degrees south. And no, this will not be visible because it's like morning and the sun is out. So you feel more ambition going towards creating that routine, motivation towards like the harvest. You'll find your energy levels start to come back around the 29th. The full moon eclipse is like, all right, you can have your energy back. But right now during the space and time, we're definitely having our energy siphoned. It's interesting, and it's being siphoned in different ways, whether you're just being lethargic or you're being siphoned by the technology around you and the waves and the social media scrolling and the news and all this stuff. It's just like at your job, it's a lot more like people having to work more often, more hours, consuming more around this time because you're being convinced to buy candy, buy food, buy decorations and all. It's just like a lot of energy siphoning around this time. And that's, what that's pulling towards with Mercury and Mars is invocation of that circulation. If you are empowered over your own solar plexus chakra, you're in charge of where your energy is being siphoned to or how you choose to invoke your own energy. Gaia is using our energy to replenish herself too. Yeah, exactly. Gaia is in the realms of transformation. The leaves are falling, things are dying off, bacteria and viruses and stuff die off in the cold and stuff like that. And it's making space for a new and renewal and stuff. So like as these, things die off, hopefully the mosquitoes fucking die. And that requires our energy, because like we're electromagnetic beings. We have electrons, and we are also the way the energy transmitters in our skin, the outermost layer of our skin where the electrons be at, especially for those, it's a spectrum of melanin or whatever, but the different melanin levels show like the different concentration of how you filter the electrons in your space, or the positive ions in your space. So like how they be saying, oh, don't eat shrimp and all that, they're like the cockroaches of the sea. Oh, well, they just reflect what the fuck your skin does. Your skin is a filter as well. Like you be eating dirt and pollution and stuff. You eat the positive ions and stuff. That's why it is important for you to have like organized and crystals and stuff in your space, because they help you, because we're in a heavily polluted area. So like, what kind of levels of pollution we used to have once upon a time, has increased tremendously. So it doesn't hurt to have like additional assistance in the form of crystals and organites in your space, as your body does what it naturally does, which is, transmute the different pollutions around you, and it breathes with it. That's how it picks through the waste, and it picks what it needs through the waste, and it gives everything back. That's the connection to the trees too, right? The carbon dioxide, oxygen. You might think, well, actually it's not oxygen that we need. Oxygen is what's rusting us. But you may think that what you breathe in is hot shit, but guess what? To somebody else, what you inhale is somebody else's fucking waste. So like you gotta have that level of recognition. Humble thyself. um but yeah, all that to camel walk with you, that Gaia is siphoning our energy as well. We are helping Gaia in her realms of transformation during the season, and this is why we get tired and stuff like that, because Mother Earth is pulling on our energy. The cosmos is pulling on our energy. As cosmos go across the sky, they're not just dropping ancient information, they're also sucking up ancient information. So this is also in divine alignment of us putting our seeds into the cosmos through that Libra eclipse, because that's the energy that we're putting across the sky. Comet doesn't just stop at Earth, it's going to the other celestial bodies too. So it's dropping that information off. Same thing with the other celestial bodies that come close to us. They get a taste of our electromagnetic energy, and they carry it off with them. They carry a piece off with them. So we have to be mindful of the collective energy we put out. And just like, y'all were saying earlier, while they're doing all this energy harvesting, trying to keep us in a negative, electric, not negative, positive, because physically speaking, it's positive ions that are harmful. We like electrons, which is negatively charged particles. So they try to keep everything to this positive charged particle realm or whatever, every time certain celestial bodies get near us, so that we can't see them, we can't experience them to their wholeness, we can't allow them to fully activate our DNA and stuff like that. So the goal is to keep informing people, to keep connecting with people, to keep sharing our knowledge and our access and our resources to certain knowledge and experiences and stuff like that, to help elevate, because, their energy and their tactics is they're getting tired to me. I guess other people, they still work, but like, bro, how many times are you going to do a war in the Middle East? How many times are you going to have the inflation scare and the gas go up? And now we're watching all these movies and documentaries and Hulu and Netflix specials on war and the powers that be, and like they're always fucking playing with us on all facets. Like, come on now, I'm over it. At some point in time, you got to learn how to unsubscribe from bullshit. Like they're gonna, like, because even though they're doing that shit and they are showing you the truth, and we can sit here and say, oh, they got to tell us the truth because there's a clause in some type of law, and out of all the laws that they choose not to obey, they're completely obligated to control this one. You have to understand that it's still energy siphoning. If I show you something like fucking Hunger Games or Avatar, guess what? I got Black people mad about racism again. I got y'all all powered up and fired up, and y'all got this energy. And guess what? What you're manifesting with it, I'm about to play on the news. I'm about to play some fear shit. So while you just got done watching this empowering movie or whatever that got your energy on 1,000, you want to do all these things, guess what? I'm about to put some fear in that shit with some shit that's popping off on the news. Like, you gotta know when you're in it, when people are pressing the alchemy. Niggas is pulling the alchemist, the magician card. We are in the year of platinum here around, where like business corporations are on the forefront. And as much as they want to say government, 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 this shit's not fucking government. They're all businesses and they're all corporations and spaces of commerce. So having that level of knowledge, you gotta know they're on the forefront, and like all their stuff is coming out. You can either choose to not see the Wiz and act like you don't see them, like some of those people do down there in Oz, or you could be like, hey, what the fuck? Like, we see you. Like, come on now. Like, you're gonna stop playing the alchemy card on my energy. These people are alchemists and they know you. You're just now getting to know you. You don't know you. You like, start adding up the art to the science. Learn the laws of physics. You are physics. You are the personification of physics. You are the personification of all of the deities. Deities are just energies, and you are the personification of all the stories of those deities. Link them to your chakras, link them to your netter spheres and shit. Like, link them, because that's how you're going to see, like, oh, this whole time y'all were just really talking about how, like, when I starve myself I get a headache. What comes out of my gut, it goes through my brain. Like, but we've been talking about it in the realms of stories of like Saturn and Kronos and shit. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta learn how to you know, all those different POVs can still be true, but you get what I'm saying with this. You gotta learn how to read things on that certain kind of level and make those things apply to you and stuff like that. Um, and I guess I got there because of Mercury and Mars, the energy siphoning thing, and then the Moon and Uranus, progressive movements and pushes. Uranus is still in the Aries constellation, even though it's in the Taurus zodiac. So thoughts is on materialism and stuff like that. And oh my God, I do not be paying attention to these comments. And like, that comment was up there this whole time about you getting hit by a car. My bad, bro. I don't even be looking up here. I do, but then well, y'all noticed by now, I take periodic looks in a way, but for the most part, I'm looking at the PowerPoint. But yes, power is numbers. People need to learn to look towards a common goal that benefits both parties involved and love one another. We don't have to like each other. Exactly. Love is the strongest bond. Definitely. Yes. Right. They're not going to tell us, not to eat something. And I've learned that working in healthcare, because I used to get pissed, like, why are you letting these people eat this crazy stuff? And it was like, because we don't have the right to tell them not to eat it, but you're not providing them with the proper information to tell them why they shouldn't be eating it. And they would just shrug at me, and I'm like, so if I provide them with the information, I will be in the wrong? And they're like, yeah, that's meddling, and I don't have the proper certifications to say, like, I'm a nutritionist or I'm a dietitian or whatever, to give you this information or whatever. And they don't really like enforce their clients to go see nutritionists or dietitians. That's not like a necessity doctor to see. So if they're playing this game with people with developmental disabilities and physical disabilities, you don't think they playing that same mental game with you too? I don't have to inform you of what's in the food that you're eating. Like, the information is there. I'm not going to tell you to know to look. You got to tell yourself to know to look and do the research and stuff. I'm not going to tell you it, but it is there. Same thing with law. Same thing with the IRS and taxes. Same thing with the Federal Reserve. I'm not going to tell you, but it is there. You go to it whenever you feel like it, but you gotta know that you're not even there to know to get there. That's the crazy part. They're not even going to tell you that it's not there because it doesn't suit them to do that, and that's the game they play. That is the game they play. So October 30th, we start the day off at a 98% wide and gibbous moon. So now we're in the moon and cleansing, and we're getting rid of like the tangible stuff, like the actual stuff in our space. The moon rising at 7:01 p.m. and setting at 9:32 a.m. We are in the Taurus zodiac energy with it. Still confirming the fact that we're moving stuff. And the 10th house of success when we remove this stuff. The sunrise at 7:26 a.m. will be setting at 5:59 p.m. There's a close approach of moon and M45, which is Pleiades. Pleiades is the energy of the seven sisters. This is how we cope with sorrow after we done got through going through all these tumultuous things, The moon and Pleiades will be at minimal angle at 12:19 p.m. The moon will be 1.7 degrees south, conjunction at 11:52 a.m. with the moon being 1.8 degrees south, and we'll be able to observe that at 6:19 a.m. with a 4 degree southwest separation. And also, so it's the 30th that the PM visibility of Orion begins. All right. And then October 31st, we start the day off at a 94% wine and gibbous moon. The moon rising at 7:44 p.m. and then setting at 10:44 a.m. We are now in the Gemini zodiac energy with it. So we in the thoughts. So y'all be careful with people getting in y'all heads. If y'all gonna get Halloween readings, because y'all know these diviners and the babies, the spiritual babies and the spiritual everybody want to do readings. Everybody want Halloween readings. Everybody, please be careful. If y'all don't listen to nothing I say, listen to me now. Listen, I've been going. I told y'all 2222 and last year on Halloween, all that celestial shit was happening, bro. The veil is thin, and they told me to tell y'all stop playing. Stop playing with the veil. If you're not causing disruption in your own life, you are causing disruption in parallel universes around you. Please be considerate of other people's survival. Stop playing. Don't play. Be mindful of letting other people read you on that day. Be mindful of letting people up in your head invoke you. Gemini is the energy of invocation and communication. And the best way to invoke somebody is through words. Y'all know Gemini energy words cut like a sword on fire. So y'all got to be careful with how y'all let people invoke you. Please be considerate of how you choose to invoke other people. Please be careful. Okay, if you want to do readings, it's cool to do readings. Please be have a level of discernment and groundedness with how many readings you're going to do and what kind of energy you'll be reading that day. Like, we're not finna be reading fire and air signs all day. Like, if you're going to read fire signs, read an earth sign or read some water signs with it. If you're going to read some air signs, read some, earth or water signs. Y'all get where I'm going with this. Be very intentional. You don't gotta do all that, we don't want to do a whole bunch of mixing and mastering. See, Scorpio energy is in the solar plexus because it's not just about chaos, it's about finding strategy amongst the chaos, right? It's about finding infrastructure, order amongst the chaos. And that's where Aries comes in. And that's why Aries, the gut, controls the mind. That's why the gut comes with the and controls the mind. It says, you don't want this, you don't want that, you want to do this. Because if it doesn't, Scorpio energy, that water, would just be out here transformations everywhere. Just doing it. And that's not what we want. Right? You get the sensation in your bladder before the pee come out. Otherwise, you just be pissing everywhere. That makes sense. I hope it did. I like that one. I like that one. Okay. So October, 31st, that's where we at. The North Node re-enters Pisces. So the North Node and the South Node, they be going back and forth between retrograde and prograde. So on the 31st, the direction we moving in, the veil is thin, y'all. So y'all definitely, especially you, Timothy, with all the Timmy with all the water placements, y'all water babies, y'all definitely gonna be activated with the North Node being in Pisces because that's a water, sign. Y'all know y'all water modalities, y'all water elements, y'all, get activated there. But that's happening at 2 a.m. So if you want to do some readings around that midnight, excuse me, of October 31st, that will do well. Now I got the hiccups. Jesus Christ. Let me get out of here. The moon and Aldebaran will be in conjunction at 8:48 a.m. The moon will be 9 degrees south. 9 degrees north. I'm sorry. Aldebaran is the star in the Taurus constellation. so even though we're in the Gemini zodiac, we're still in the Taurus constellation. Oh my God. I hate hiccups because they hurt. They be so deep. Aldebaran gives off the energy of Mars, which is honor, intelligence, and courage. Also, historically and timeline speaking, it also associates with large political undertakings. So, with all this war stuff going on, pay attention to the different moves that the different countries are using. If you want to pay attention to the circus, um, it's a big move that'll happen on the 31st. Mercury and Zubin al Janubi will be at minimal angle at 2:27 p.m. Conjunction at 7:17 p.m. Mercury will be at 8 degrees south southwest at 2:27 p.m. and at 7:17 p.m. Mercury will be zero point 0.9 degrees south, and notice will not be visible. We know Zubin al Janubi is in the Libra constellation. This is Southern Claw. This is redemption, the Saturn and Mars, challenges to the strategics of war or whatever, a little pushback happening here. Um, the east side of the moon, which is Mercurium, will also be tipped into view on the 31st as well. So that's what we got going on. And the planets. This is the moon with Pleiades, our seven sisters. And I really like these visuals. These are cool. I like these. I like these a lot. But we got the spooky owl cluster in the sky. That's real pretty to see. And this is the draconic chart. So you'll notice that the draconic chart is very much in alignment with the Vedic chart, because the north and south node is, has activated the draconic chart, with the north node being in Aries and the south node being in Libra. That's the draconic chart, ruler or whatever, putting the mind, the moon thing. That's why draconic energy deals with the soul, the underlying soul of all things, because it has the moon, moving towards a realm of new beginnings and coming from balance and stuff like that. From the seventh to the first house. Um, so you see a big opening, and this is also in alignment with the spiritual awakening as well, with the fact that the draconic chart is in alignment with the Vedic chart, and it's getting somewhat aligned with the tropical chart as well. So that's a good time. And so that's what you can see there is the different transits. Like we go into Libra around the 18th and 19th, the same time that we go into the Libra zodiac on the tropical, I'm not the tropic, the sidereal, the Vedic. The sun enters Libra on the 18th as well, the constellation. So yeah, I think it's pretty cool. So a lot of our experiences, so that's why I also believe, and I know, not just believe, but I also know that a lot of our experiences and us meeting each other and being aligned with each other's energy is not by accident, because of the fact that we have the draconic, which is the soul of the collective in the transit chart, being in alignment with our actual vibrations, which are vortex. So where your souls are at, and where your soul's energy, please get in alignment with your draconic chart, with your natal draconic chart and your progressive draconic chart. And please reach out if you need assistance on reading them or accessing them in some type of way. I'm here to help. That's what I love to do. I'm a Virgo. I'm a reader. I read. But yeah, you get in tune with the draconic chart. You get in tune with your soul's progress, in alignment with the progress of the soul as a collective. And it's very interesting, and it's in alignment with our vertex. So a lot of these experiences, a lot of people you're attracting, they look familiar and stuff like that, because they're a part of like the patterns that your soul has gone through, the different lives your soul has had and shit. It's like, ooh, I love it here. This is real. Like what was the name of that book with like Halle Berry and Tom Hanks and stuff, and they kept showing the that book was big as shit. I read that book in college. Dang, I can't think of the name of it, but it was a cool movie, but the book was way better. The book was way better because the author was so good that he was able to write like different chapters in a totally different accent, jargon, and it was on point. Like it was in alignment. You know how sometimes you watch movies and people's jargon just sounds so off from the culture, like who wrote this? But it was good. Anyway, yes, I did. Thank you for the donation. I really appreciate that. Um Yeah, I feel like everybody I align with is definitely on purpose, and we're supposed to be around each other and communicating and just being in each other's space and stuff. I feel like all of that is, and I feel like it's levels to how we're supposed to be in each other's space, and but the connections there, we're definitely in alignment with our soul connections right now, and that's what's really going to open up, new paradigms because our visuals are starting to, the more you let yourself know, the more you touch this third eye, the more these two eyes are going to start to follow. So we keep packing this third eye with all this knowledge and evolution and new earth and stuff like that. These two eyes are going to start to see different things. You're going to start to, certain things are going to start to reveal itself to you. Just like, you're starting to see new stars you never saw before. You're going to start to see different facets of people you never saw before. You're going to see their shape shifting energies. You're going to see how, people's energies come together. You're going to see sounds if you had never seen them before. You're going to see auras, you're going to see people's past life energies. You know how in the hieroglyphs you see people's like dog heads and owl heads. You're going to be able to see shit like that on people now. Like, damn, like you're giving off like straight, like, Anubis energy. You're giving off like owl energy. Like, you're going to see these different things. They're going to open themselves up to you, and it's going to be a great experience. So like, kudos to you on all that. And so that's what I got for y'all. I gotta go to bed. It's 2:30 over here. And I appreciate y'all for sitting with me and chatting with me. This has been a really dope alignment with you guys. Join my channel, the Cosmic Nobody's channel on Instagram, and I'm sharing like Telegram. I do have a Telegram group where we communicate regularly. We'll love to see you guys in my channel. We'll love to see you guys being in alignment for the 28th Telegram event. That's gonna be really dope. And yeah, that's what I got for y'all. So peace, y'all. I gotta come back with the astrological updates. I'm sorry, y'all. I've been tripping, but like I'm coming back with the astrological updates. I do miss them, but I'm just dealing with transformations in my routine, and that's all. That's what it is.